ground here. Plenty of room for Kiner. Corey Kiner breaking a tackle, and he's in for the second Bearcat touchdown of the day.
This is 365 Sports.
Hoover protected. Hoover back to the air, and Williams with a twisting catch.
Our coverage of Big 12 Pro Day at the Star is brought to you by Allen Samuels House of Travel, Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness, Ideal MRI, GXG Elite, Baylor Scott & White, Southwest Sports Medicine, Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Cam Heathcott, and Brad Wilson, North Star Funding Partners, and Batteries Plus.
Sanders downfield, got him in. Horn, atonement, touchdown.
Now here's David Smoak, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoak.
And here we go. We are live at Cowboys headquarters, the Star in Frisco, Texas, a town that was just a tiny little place that you know has exploded. Well over 200,000 people now here. And this area north of Dallas has just gotten massive. And we are inside one of the greatest facilities you could ever be a part of. And Big 12 Pro Days behind us. Craig Smoak to my left and Paul Catalina to my right. Garrett Ross is here. Emery Winter is here. Faith Lynch is here. And we have guests that we've recorded from the offensive lineman drills and now defensive lineman drills wrapping up in the next half hour or so. So here we are with the NCAA tournament. We'll get to that and a lot more. Paul Catalina, your thoughts so far about, we haven't really seen a lot. There's a lot going on, but the data, the analytics, the numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen some shuttle drills and stuff like that. It's hard to. There's a lot of people out there. It's way more than the combine, so it's a little bit jumbled when you're watching it from up here. But we talked to 4 different offensive line prospects that you'll hear from later on, and all of them, various levels of draftability right now. But this is a really cool process, and it makes it's a whole lot. I tell you, as much as we had to wait around today for things, it's still a whole lot better than on-campus pro days, which are, they're just kind of a circus. This is nice. It's an event for the Big 12. It showcases the talent. It's on NFL Network, so that's good publicity for the Big 12. It's a cool thing. Other conferences, I think, I'm surprised that nobody else has stolen this idea, but it's a cool event. It really is, especially if you're a draftnik like me, and I love it, and it's really interesting to see them at this point.
It's been pretty damn boring today so far. Let's be honest about it. It's been very quiet. There's been, a few interviews that we've been able to do that have been fun, but for the most part, it's been very chill, very chill compared to last year. Do you disagree with that? No. I think it's been
it's different. They set it up differently. The portions of the positions and how long they're out there when they're available is different this year.
It's very different. So it's led to long kind of times in between. But they're going about their business behind us, and it's been a great event for the guys that are a part of it. Looking forward to seeing who else we talk to throughout the day here, and then I guess tomorrow as well. And they'll have specialists on Friday, but it's been a very chill day. I don't quite know why last year felt different and just a bit more of a momentum and kind of an excitement. I think it's just the way that they paraded the players in and out that they've changed up this year, like you said. So that's led to a little bit more downtime, but it's nice to be at the Star. It's a great facility and good to run into some of the guys we've been talking about the last few years.
Speaking of which, I need to send Matt Emser a text of who we want at linebacker after the show, because they're going to wrap up their drills around 5:45. We'll be going off about 6. We'll get a couple of players. But we did get a chance to interview some players. We'll get some defensive linemen here that will start to come over to our table in just a moment. But Paul's man-child football crush, Wyatt Milm, West Virginia, one of our guests today. A couple of linemen from Cincinnati with 2 completely different but really fun personalities. And then also ATN will join us, offensive lineman from BYU who once played at Oklahoma State. They will be a part of our lineup. Caleb Etienne from BYU.
Yeah, big Wyatt Milm fan. I told him that I would like him to just prepare for what I hope is the eventuality of him being here and playing for the Dallas Football Cowboys. And walk around, find a good place that you like, and
you've recruited.
Look.
You want Genty, not going to get him. Mile him out, maybe.
Yeah.
But one thing about where we are, Paul had the line of the day, and I'd never heard this before. This facility, which is, I don't know how many years old they have been here, and they've added on, and of course there's the Omni Hotel, and there's all of these beautiful buildings and restaurants and facilities, and there's medical clinics like Baylor Scott and White next to us, and it's beautiful. Unbelievable place. What did you say all of this was built on?
Hype and lies. Because
the Cowboys headquarters.
Because look, if you just based like how nice this place is, if you had no knowledge of the current state of the NFL, if you were frozen in ice and thawed out from 1995 on, and I brought you here, and you'd be like, oh, man, the Cowboys must have won so many more Super Bowls after this. You'd be like, no, actually, like the day you fell on the ice was the last good thing that's happened to the Cowboys. But as a business, as an entity, they've exploded, and this place is amazing, but it's not built on like anything but the past. It's not built on the present, really, because they've been so mediocre. So it's a little bit weird. Like, you see this, and part of this, like, the NFL overall has exploded. The Cowboys a large part of that explosion, but still, like, this is not like, this is a building that's commensurate with a team that's won, like a bunch more than they have recently, but they haven't. So, but look, hey, that's how sports work. Look, I was talking about the playoff with somebody earlier, and the SEC kind of found out this year that, like, if you look at each individual year, you can't just say, well, this historically it doesn't matter. This building is the key of historically it doesn't matter. They got everything you ever want here. The 70s and the 90s mean nothing in Frisco other than it got it built. So,
yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you there. Also, I know you're very much a self-deprecating Cowboys fans. If winning mattered, the Cleveland Browns wouldn't be building a brand new stadium worth $1 billion. So, NFL facilities and winning don't exactly go hand in hand, probably more so on the college level. But, it's a beautiful place. Definitely probably a sore spot to see that there hasn't been a Super Bowl added to any of the logos or graphics or anything in over 25 years now. That part is definitely a stickler for a lot of Cowboys fans, but it's damn nice out here. I mean, it's definitely exploded, and it's a cool spot to be, and it's a cool spot for these guys to have this event. And I maintain it's been a very quiet day. There's not even like music going on. It's like
which
last
might
year.
Be
I felt
good
like,
for us, yeah.
But last year I just felt like that was at least like pumping out, and so it's just very chill. But the setting's great, and it's cool to see, just the swing of things when it comes to the NFL draft getting ramped up and guys trying to live their dreams.
All right, so I just got this note from Matt Enser from the Big 12. All 32 NFL teams are represented. 300 total NFL scouts are here in attendance, and also reps from the UFL, CFL, WWE, and NASCAR personnel also in attendance and present today.
Well, I think NASCAR, I don't know. I don't think you can fit Philip Wilder into NASCAR.
You could fit him as a guy who changes a tire.
That's true. Yeah,
if he
absolutely.
got the quickness or whatever.
It's wild to see how many people are here. I think that's one of the things, like, I just think about it like in a logistics and convenience thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't have to go to Baylor and A&M and Tech and TCU and SMU, and I don't have to hop around to these I say SMU, but like I don't have to.
A&M.
Yeah, and A&M, but I mean, like, I guess like you still have to do that, but I don't have to go to TCU and Tech and Baylor and Houston, and then we have to organize this and go to Colorado and Arizona, and this conference has gotten so big and spread out. Having it all here, well, guess what? You can, instead of sending like, okay, well, one of you has to go to Lubbock today.
Right.
The other two of you have to go to Fort Worth. Two of you have to go to Baylor. Three of you have to go to Houston. You can just have them all here. Comparing notes, I think it probably may also help the draft process out a little bit, that you can say like, hey, do I like this guy. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then it streamlines the process of, well, I was in Houston. I didn't see him. I was in Houston. He was in Waco. But now they all see him together.
We just saw a big young man with the Nebraska logo on his chest. It might be from here. That might be a part of the pro day. Our friend, remember the interview with Kendall Paul from East Texas A&M, who ran the 4.27. His agent, Craig LeBlanc, was here, and he's going to run again in a couple of days at North Texas, University of North Texas. So there's a lot of tie-ins. It's a gorgeous day, windy as hell. There's a lady walking down the sidewalk where they have that football field, the old turf field where there was hundreds of kids on earlier, and she was walking down towards some of those stores, and I was walking back into the Omni. She goes, this is like Chicago wind. It's really windy, which has been that way, it seems like, around here and in Texas for a long, long time. So we will have player interviews. Right now we have 4 offensive linemen already recorded. 2 from Cincinnati. Obviously, we mentioned Milam, West Virginia, and ATN from BYU. We'll get a couple of others when the defensive line wraps up, which they'll be doing here in a little bit. I want to say this because we would be here no matter what. But we are here after an amazing first night at the Airbnb. That's actually, the physical address is in McKinney. It's out in the country if there is even that left anymore. An unbelievable Airbnb. Thanks to Bill Denton, thanks to Bambi SQ, and thanks to Alan Samuels' House of Travel, because the amenities, the space, fantastic. We appreciate them very much.
I think a couple of Did I hear the foosball table rocking last night?
It was rocking last night, and now we're supposed to be able to get into the little shed area that's offset.
Into the
that
billiard
room.
The billiard room,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. But it's gorgeous.
It's only missing a butler, and he was just off this week. He's on spring break.
I will try to send a couple of pictures in the chat. The kitchen by itself is amazing. I know we're not there for that, although we had some snacks, and of course the bedroom amenities are just incredible. Absolutely appreciate everybody at Alan Samuels' House of Travel. We'll get to who's the first one we have. Is it going to be ATN at 3:30? Now let's get to some other news and notes. NCAA tournament. We'll start with that because 2 games are tonight. Mount St. Mary's at American. Elijah Stevens, who played at China Spring, plays at American. 5:40 tonight, True TV in Dayton. Also in Dayton, very intriguing 11 seeds. Xavier and Texas will play the night game tonight. And let's talk about Alabama State. They won last night. Do you know that they won last night? And so for the SWAC, they get $2.1 million, I think, spread out each year over the next 6 years to a conference that, man, that's unbelievably important. A great dramatic finish. And also, North Carolina crushed San Diego State. Does that end any of the, they shouldn't have been in the tournament?
Well, if I was Bubba Cunningham and I got a $100,000 bonus because they made the tournament and I was the committee chair, my message to Hubert Davis was, would you please go win this thing to get some heat off of me, because I am getting pummeled. And I mean, he was. And those are all fair questions to ask. I don't think that there's anything untoward that happened. I think part of it is just human nature of being around him. But yeah, I'm getting pummeled here, and maybe you need to go win. Now, does it mean that North Carolina has the gumption to go beat somebody else who's not, exactly the same as them? Like San Diego State is a team that was in the Final Four a couple years ago and now, is just falling off from that. Probably not. I don't expect him to make a deep run, but Amanda told me last night, she's like, I don't know why you told me North Carolina sucked. You know that every time you think that they suck, that they're going to make a run like they did a few years ago and made it all the way to nearly winning the entire thing before the biggest collapse in NCAA history.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch much of last night, but a very cool story of Alabama State being able to pull off that win and do, as you said, in helping out their SWAC brethren. And UNC, I mean, I saw a lot of the chatter about them and Bubba Cunningham and everything, but they shut that up last night, at least for the time being. Can't say they don't deserve to be there when they blew out another team that's there, in the fashion that they did. But I get why the optics of that were weird. And there's probably ways to prevent that, like not having somebody like him in charge of it to begin with would probably be a good idea. But nevertheless, it is the way that it is. So they didn't get the last laugh, but they got the most recent laugh because they didn't go out there and embarrass themselves. So, I think that was an eventful in Alabama State's case, a way to start the tourney, and looking forward to how the rest of it falls through, or how the rest of the dominoes fall over these next few weeks.
And they get Duke now, right? Alabama State?
Yeah.
Yep.
Congratulations.
So Baylor or Mississippi State will play Alabama State in round 2.
Yeah.
What a great thing, though. How imagine the money and the revenue. It's about $300,000 per school, $2.1 million per year for 6 years because they spread it out into those units or whatever. Good for them. What a great throw from the baseline.
Yeah, that was.
And a couple of nice bounces. All right, so that's the tournament. DeVries is headed to Indiana.
Yeah.
West Virginia gets knocked out of the tournament because of decisions. They then lose a player to the portal. Now they're going to lose their head coach to Indiana.
And they're going to
lose his son's going to move with him.
Probably. Is that? I mean, I don't know this, but probably. I mean, he did before. I don't know why he wouldn't again. And a guy they only got like a month out of.
Had a shoulder injury.
Yeah. So they got a month out of him, and then they had a hard-fought year, probably should be in the tournament, and weren't, and then their head coach goes to Indiana. And, look, he's a Midwestern guy. I feel like Indiana could have saved a lot of people trouble if they just told Mike Woodson, like, just go after last year, and then he retires in the middle of this year and sets them up with that, because they could have had Darian DeVries. They could have had Dusty May, who's at Michigan now. They could have had all that. I like the hire for Indiana. I don't know. Are they going to be like – Indiana needs to model what they're doing after St. John's. St. John's, kind of in the same boat of this is a team that was a power. Everyone feared St. John's in the Big East. They were like, it was
Louis
tough.
Carnesecca.
Yeah, it was Lou to play Lou Carnesecca, right? And then they fell on hard times. They haven't been relevant in quite a long time. So they go get Rick Pitino, but what do? They make sure that he has like the largest NIL in the country to go do what he wants with. Indiana's probably going to have to do that because this generation of just like even though Rick Pitino can go get kids from NYC who may have heard their dads and grandpas talk about how good St. John's was, Indiana, I mean, you walk to a kid right now and ask them about Bob Knight, they don't know. They don't know.
Indiana in men's basketball is Nebraska in football.
Yeah, I mean, so you have to put maybe 25% more effort into a school, like North Carolina would when they had a coaching change or something like that, because Indiana they're a basketball blue blood, but they're in the kind of emeritus section right now because they haven't done anything to earn that kind of status in a very long time.
Man, I'll just say it. I've spent 4 decades on this earth. Indiana's been irrelevant for the entire time. I mean, for the most part. I mean, in terms of actually winning something that matters.
Yeah.
I've heard how great the program is, and I've watched Hoosiers, and I've been told that college basketball is better when Indiana's good, right? Isn't that what we say? Like, college football is better when Alabama's good. College basketball is better when Indiana's good. I wouldn't know because they've been fine to pretty good, but they've never been anything they've been touted to be the entire time I've been alive. I mean, except for when maybe I just don't remember it because I was too young. But the talk about them is the same. I've seen Kentucky win national championships. I've seen them do that multiple times. I've seen Duke. I've seen North Carolina. I've seen Indiana do basically jack.
87.
Okay, I was 7 and you were 3.
Too young
Greg,
to even.
Greg was 3 years old.
Yeah.
So I spent my entire life hearing about Indiana this, Indiana that, and it's never sat with me because it's just there's no proof in the pudding to me except for stuff I was too young to see. But I think it's a good hire. I think it's something we brought up for West Virginia is a potential problem. I think it was at the end of last week that started circulating, and we talked about it very briefly. So I don't think it's surprising. That seemed like once the scuttlebutt started, it was something that definitely had some smoke and some flames to it. And so, I don't think West Virginia fans are at all shocked by him going there. I think they're shocked by the fact that they hired a coach and he was there for a year, and now his star kid's probably going to be gone as well. And said
this is where he would like to finish his career.
Which they all say. And so, the next time, and the next guy will say that, and they'll go, oh, my God. He really means it this time.
This is my last job.
Yeah,
not totally up to you, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean.
it all sounds good, and college fans fall for it every time because I get it, because you want it to be true so badly. But I do hope West Virginia gets somebody that's actually going to sit there and commit to them and not jump at the dream job. But, we'll have to hear more from DeVries. I mean, if this was your dream job, I can't blame the guy for going and doing it, but I just think the situation sucks. I mean, I think that we can all agree on is the situation just sucks for West Virginia.
Yeah, his son transfers in. Great player, right? Really, really good player. And then he, like you said, he only played for a few games because he hurt his shoulder. There's some, and this got a little bit edgy, some West Virginia fans, because when he did that, he appealed for an extra year and got it. Yeah. And it won't be with them.
Yeah.
It'll be with Indiana did win. Again, this is old school blue blood. 1940, 1953. 76 was the undefeated team, and I think that might be the last unbeaten team in college basketball. Then in 81, and then they won it with Keith Smart hitting that shot. Might have been against Syracuse in 87. So, Craig, you're right. 3 years old. Paul, how old are you?
I was 7.
7 years old.
So I've seen them win 2 titles in my life in 1981.
And you didn't even, you didn't see 81. I doubt you saw 81.
Yeah, the big deal for me there was like, I heard a cool sound.
The Bob Knight era was amazing, but since that time, they should have. Steve Alford would be a great fit there but he's doing a hell of a job at Nevada.
Yeah. I wonder, what do you do? Because with West Virginia, the thing that sucks for them is they have been a stepping stone job in the past, even though they have this great basketball tradition. The fans love it. You've got this really loyal fan base, or engaged fan base. I mean, loyal is depending on how much you're winning, but they have an engaged fan base that's very passionate about everything. And you want somebody who sees that as that's the place they want to be for a long time. They had that. They had Bob Huggins. And Bob Huggins is one of the great coaches in the history of college basketball, but his personal demons got the best of him, and he's gone, right? So, how do you find your next Huggy Bear, especially in the new era of this? It's hard. It's really hard to do.
You wonder if there's a donor. And the answer is no. You can't.
You can't bring him back.
Can we go and – all right, so – there we are with Indiana. Now, here's another story in basketball. Will Wade, amazing coach, won at LSU. There was some NCAA investigation, eventually forced out. He's been at McNeese State. He's won there. They're playing against Clemson to open up the tournament. And he, according to many reports, has already agreed on a 6-year contract to become the next head coach at NC State. And he hasn't even coached in the NCAA yet, and that seems to be a done deal.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't make it awkward for the team the next couple of days. I think
McNeese State's thrilled. He's there now, and excited for him that he's going to be leaving just because of what he's meant to them.
Yeah, and look, it might mean some opportunities for some of those guys to go to NC State and play with Will Wade. So I'm sure it's fine. I have picked them for the upset. I think. Will Wade, he may not be, a little ray of sunshine personality-wise, but the guy can coach. And, what Tim Brando told us yesterday is a strong-ass offer is, that's the mantra of college sports right now. So now you don't have to worry about all that stuff. He was already doing it, and he was good at it then, and now he's better at it now. So NC State better open up your wallets because he's going to come asking for, tons of contributions, and we'll see. That was a team that was in the Final Four a year ago, and then DJ Burns goes away, the guy that nobody could stop, and they fell out this year and fired their coach, which was kind of surprising to me, but I think part of it was they were looking at what's out there, and Will Wade was there, and the fan base kind of got that idea in, and apparently they've made it happen.
Yeah, I think it's a really good hire for NC State, and I think there's no really argument to be made about the guy as just a basketball coach. I mean, as you said, some of what ailed him and got him in trouble is not the same as it was back at that point. So it's a different college basketball game. But, definitely a little shade comes with him. But NC State will probably win a lot because that's what he does. He did very well at McNeese State. He was going to do and continue to do well at LSU. And I think he'll do really well with the Wolfpack, so I like that hire for them. I know that was a name that I saw a lot of Texas fans just online or people who are not even Texas fans, they brought up them as a possibility for him just because Rodney Terry doesn't feel like the Steve Sarkisian hire for Chris Del Conte, but yet he keeps making the tournament. So if they were to turn the page and say just making the tournament's not good enough or something along those lines, I think you look at who the best basketball coaches available are or would possibly be available, and a lot of people would have had Will Wade at or near the top of that list. So kudos to NC State for going and getting him, and we'll see what he can do there and for how long, but definitely a good coach. There's no denying that.
Yeah, somebody was at Wet Blanket, one of our Oklahoma State fans mentioned Brad Underwood. Kind of a quick stop at Oklahoma State. He, of course, had great success at SFA, and then immediately was in Illinois.
Yeah, but I mean, again, is West Virginia going to be able to kind of?
Well, Ren Baker wrote a statement. Of course, you kind of, because he understands how this is stinging the base. He finally got everything kind of the way he wanted. He got a hell of a coach in DeVries, and of course, Rich Rod. This stings. And he wrote a statement about we are 100% committed. Had conversations with DeVries about how committed they are, but that wasn't enough.
Well, and, I mean, look, they could just go back to the well at Drake and hire Ben McCollum, who was also up for that Indiana job. So, who was on the show last week. So go get Ben McCollum. I wouldn't hate this for Bryce Drew, but I would hate it for Scott Drew to complete his nightmare and bring another person he doesn't want to play in the regular season over there. I mean, Bryce Drew, I would hire him at a lot of places 3 years in a row and in the NCAA tournament. I mean, again, you've got to find someone at West Virginia who – I mean, you can't guarantee you're never going to look at another place because you never know what job's going to open. Who knows? Like, in a few years, Bill Self could retire, and then all of a sudden Kansas is open, and then this is my last job.
Another year like this, he might be out of there without having a say in it.
Yeah, so, that could open up. Hubert Davis could get fired at North Carolina, and you have, Danny Hurley could go to the NBA, and all of a sudden UConn's open, and you're like, well, I didn't think I was going to want to leave, but, this job is different. Even Scott Drew was tempted to the brink further than he's ever been in his entire career by Kentucky just a year ago. Yep. So you need to have somebody at West Virginia who does see that as the place that's the destination, that they want to be. So I hope they find that person, and – I guess if you're looking back, you look at Darian DeVries, you're like, well, maybe he wasn't that guy because he is a Midwestern guy, and that's a Midwestern, kind of staple there, Indiana basketball. So I'm not surprised that he would have gone back home and taken that job. Indiana
was able to take advantage of what was an insult for West Virginia to not be in the tournament. Maybe they get him anyway, like with Wade and NC State, but that immediately allowed them to get right on top of that. Great note from Ralph Rousseau, and this gives me a lot of respect. I know Will Wade. I don't know him. I just know he's been incredibly successful. When he was asked during the media session leading up to their game with Clemson this week, like yesterday, have you or your agent been in touch with NC State? And he said yes. How many coaches would have said, I don't want to comment on that or talked around that? He said flat out yes.
Yeah,
I respect him for saying yes.
I respect him for saying yes, and also from learning from the reality of what the world viewed you as in the past as being a little dishonest. Yeah, don't do that. Establish your credibility, and go ahead, knock it out.
Yeah,
so
I give him credit for that. I also think you're at McNeese State. It's not like you're at LSU and you're getting NC State love, and you're like, nah. I mean, because that would be insulting to LSU. I don't think it's insulting to McNeese State. I think it's the obvious is that you would jump from McNeese State to NC State, but no, I say that, but I do give him credit. He still could have just lied, like he's done before, or like multiple coaches have done previously in similar situations. But yeah, I mean, it's better just to be honest about it, and especially when obviously right around the corner is the report that you're taking it. So if you knew that's coming out, why say no and then 24 hours later there you are taking the job? That would just make you more of what people already think you might be, right? So
I agree.
That's just
7
logical.
out of every 10 coaches would have probably said they would not have commented on that or not said yes. That's what's unique about it, even though, like you said, it was just so imminent that he pretty much needed to do that. I want to do the Micah Hudson story next. I don't know what's going on with him. Lake Belton star, 5-star wide receiver, went to Tech, didn't play much last year, just didn't work out, goes in the portal, ends up at A&M. There was rumors about where he would go, and now the latest report is that Micah is back in the portal. Yeah, and I know there's speculation about where, but back in the portal.
And that may be that it's in the water that he could go back to Texas Tech. I think he'd probably have some repairing of relationships to do, at least on a small scale there, if not maybe more than that. We'll see. This is such a bizarre story because he was gung ho about Tech, and then of course didn't play much his freshman year, but they. Also, I mean, he was hurt, and they didn't need him much. I mean, they had a ton of production out of the wide receiver position, so it wasn't like they needed him right away to be good. They were good, and he was available to them. And then A&M had a desperate need at wide receiver and went out and got Mario Craver from Mississippi State and KC Concepcion from NC State, who I think is going to be fantastic for them. He was fantastic at NC State in his career there too. So those are two big grabs there, and Micah Hudson was the kind of the triumvirate, but now he's back in the portal, and I'm curious to see where this story leads. But 5-star prospect transferring now twice before he's really played significantly. Usually the end of that story isn't great.
Yeah, I would say that a guy who's already had more schools in 1 year than touchdowns, the last thing we need to be doing is where's he going next?
Yeah.
I think we need to say, is he okay? Yeah. And what help does he need? Yeah. And is football, the priority right now, or is it whatever is clearly not gelling maybe in his personal life? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate because I really have no clue other than he obviously faces a ton of pressure that comes with being a great player, but so do a lot of other guys, hundreds of guys every year. And there's not a lot of situations like this one that I recall where a player's already transferred a couple of times and, has been in college for all of a year. And right now, unfortunately for him, not the situations are the exact same, but he belongs with the Jonte Cooks and the Damon Demases and those guys who got hyped to otherworldly levels, who are, as of like their actual playing, not suited for that hype right now. Now, he could flip a switch and get his life together or whatever it is. Well, again, maybe it's just he needs to figure out how to better manage his anxiety or something. I don't know. No. But whatever it is, I hope he gets it worked out because he's obviously got a lot of talent, and you hate to see talent go to waste, especially when there's such great opportunity there for him and his loved ones. I hate to see that, but we'll see where he goes next.
Well, one of the things about Micah Hudson is, there's always speculation about what it might be, but you do hope, one, he's going to be okay. He is okay. I was told from the beginning, and this is not just because of knowing people at Tech or knowing people at anywhere in A&M or at Lake Belton, is that he was getting just so many things in his head. So many people were making decisions or around him that I think it just spiced him up a little bit too much. Colin Oliver, Oklahoma State Cowboy. We have people in. You got the mic okay? Is it a little close enough? Yeah, get it a little close. Wet Blanket and Oklahoma State fans. Here's one of your guys, Colin Oliver, Oklahoma State at Big 12 Media Pro Days here in Frisco. Thank you very much for your time. How'd the day go?
It went amazing. I completed a bench press. I got a good 24 reps on there, and I did everything else at the combine. So I was pretty good with my performance today.
You were injured early in the year, and I know that just had to have that sinking feeling for you because this was a big moment in your last season. But how are you feeling now? How's everything going? I mean, 24 reps on the bench press, nothing to sneeze at there. And I know you were able to do everything else at the combine. So are you 100% now?
Yeah, there's a little, hamstring issues in there, but those things will get figured out. And, my foot's all good from the season. I played in the Senior Bowl real well. I'm on the road to recovery right now. So,
what are some of the conversations like that you've had, whether it's the Senior Bowl or out here, or just the process in between with scouts and NFL folks? What have they said? Good, bad, otherwise.
Yeah, good things. A lot about my play, and that they see me as a versatile player. There's a lot of teams that have me one spot, and there's a lot of teams that have me in another spot, and some teams have me at both spots. So it's been really great conversations. Overall, just the experience, being able to talk to people like that. who have the, a say-so in your future, and, getting able to sell yourself and stuff like that too. I mean, it's been a real cool experience. So.
Well, it has been a tough run in Stillwater. And, I mean, and that it's not breaking news, but it just didn't seem to make any sense. Sometimes you just have teams that fall apart. Utah had some problems. What happened?
It was a combination of things, but ultimately, you have to look past those things, and you have to understand that you had just a bad season. Our coaches were great. All even the ones who had left, they were all great, and they meant a lot to me. Just being there with them for 4 years, and growing up with them, they had a lot of my development as a man. So those coaches are great. It was one of those years.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those years for us, and it was a tough one to go through. But you go through things like that to be on the other side of them, which this next year is going to be very positive for that team. They don't want that feeling again. And they're going to work to get rid of that feeling. So,
what do we not know about Mike Gundy that we would you can base it on his outward? We've interviewed every coach. He doesn't do a lot of interviews. He's pretty private. Like when it comes to that, what would we not know about him that makes him special to players?
Yeah, he's real. He's a realist. He's a genuine guy. He doesn't do things out of a hate or out of bad feelings towards other people. He's a genuine guy, and he loves people. He is a person he's to himself, you know what I'm saying? And that's just who he is, and he's an amazing coach. He's an amazing coach. He's been doing it for a long time, and he understands the game very well. So.
How did you go about just managing through the injury and having to kind of watch? And did you go like, hey, I got to be a leader more than ever now? Or kind of just how did you operate within the season, being unable to actually go out there and operate the way you wanted to?
Yeah, me and my boy Nick, we had a lot of scheduled meetings as a defense. We weren't performing very well at all. And, we had a lot of scheduled meetings with the players just to see what our want-to was. And we had those throughout the year. Ultimately, it just wasn't clicking. And me and myself, I was a leader. I stepped up in that role. And like I said, my boy Nick was as well. He got injured. Yeah. He was in the same boat as me. So we kind of tag teamed together in that aspect. But ultimately, it was just one of those years for us. We had to sit there and we had to deal with it. And we were, like I said, we were still leaders through it all. Our leadership never wavered, but it was pretty frustrating to go to. I won't lie.
Well, you just played a couple of games, right?
Yeah.
What's it like? Do you feel isolated? Do you feel? I mean, I know you still know all the guys in the locker room, but when you're injured, you're not a part of a lot of the things. What was that like for you?
Honestly, I don't look at. I feel like injuries are a part of the game. So whenever it happened, it sucked. It wasn't what I wanted, but it's part of the game. It was unfortunate it lasted after the first half of the second game, but it is what it is. I couldn't control when I got injured. So that happened, and I moved along just like I would if I was playing it. Personally, it was kind of different because I had never been injured for that long before, like in all my career. So it was different. It was an adjustment, but I didn't look at it any different than just I had an injury and I have to move accordingly.
You had 20-something sacks the first 3 years. You were on pace to have monster numbers in the end, so I'm sure the scouts obviously remember those 3 years too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So, you've played a little linebacker, you've played edge, and you worked out here with the defensive lineman. Is that maybe where they're pushing you, or is it just plug me in, I'll do what you tell me to do?
That's kind of what I'm showing, plug me in wherever. I'm an athlete, and I can do whatever I need to do to help a team win. If a team sees me as straight D-line, they see me as a straight D-lineman, I'm going to play defensive line. If a team sees me as a straight linebacker, they see me as a straight linebacker, and I can play linebacker. If a team sees me as both, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to play both. So.
And that's kind of where it's going now is more guys who can you put your hand on the ground and run? Can you stand up and run? Do you feel in rush? You feel like you do both those pretty well?
Yes, very well. I feel like I do both those very well.
What do you like better? What's better, hand on the ground or when you're standing up and you're just looking at the guy?
Yeah, one of the toughest questions I've had through this whole process. But honestly, I ultimately go down to pass rushing and the art of pass rushing. I've fallen in love with pass rushing and what it has to offer. And I love pass rushing. That's what I'll say about it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
Do you work how golfers, you'll see people who golf, they're practicing their swing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you walk through your house sometimes and do a swim move or an under?
Corners, doorways. Even in your car door, you get outside your car door, you slam your shit and you get through. There's kitchen doors, refrigerators. The art of pass rushing as a whole is something I've fallen in love with. that's not to say that I'm still not in love with football and defense. But pass rushing is up there.
So do you watch old school dudes on YouTube and stuff like that?
Not really old school.
Okay.
Von Miller's, Khalil Mack's, and Micah Parsons. I love watching those guys and seeing how they compete and seeing how they play football. It's really cool. So, when
did the NFL dream get planted in your head? How early did that happen? When did it become oh wow, that's actually a reality? That's actually a possibility for me.
It was planted in my head when I first started playing when I was 6 years old. Once I start something, I feel like I can do the best of it. And when I was 6 years old, I'm playing. I'm like, I'm gonna do this for a long time. I want to go to the league. That's the highest level, and that's the level I want to reach. And beyond that, what was the second half of your question?
Just when did you realize, I actually may be able to do this for real? Yeah,
that was early. Early freshman year in high school. Yeah, I couldn't even go back to middle school. There was never a doubt that I couldn't do it. That'll be a better answer for you. So.
What are your expectations from this point until the draft in late April?
Just to take the process for what it is, enjoy it, take it day by day, and ultimately get on a very high draft pick and a very good team, and go from there. There's after this pro day, there's pretty much just recovery or continue to train, whatever anybody's journey is, but do all that stuff and leading up to the draft, watch the draft, get called, and go on about my team. So.
You are from Oklahoma City. You played at Oklahoma State. The state of Oklahoma obviously runs to your brother. Emery Winter, our producer over here, he's from Oklahoma City as well. What do you mean for you to be in the same place all that time? Because clearly, you could leave if things got bad. Nobody's stopping you. You can go anywhere else. But being in Oklahoma, why was it so important to you?
Yeah, I'm big on family. And during COVID, when we were spending a lot of time, I was spending a lot of time with my family. At the time, I feel like that was very important for me. And Oklahoma State had that same feel. They were very family-oriented, and they took care of their players. They cared for them like they were family. Obviously you got the money and all that stuff going down there, but I was well taken care of in Stillwater. And obviously there's other places that give other money, but why leave when you have the same amount of care that you can get in a place that you've been for a very long time. So.
You're the second player that we've had here that we mentioned what are expectations, or I maybe asked about the next month, and they said exactly what you said. All the hard work is it's in the barn. The hay's in the barn. Now, doesn't mean you're going to hopefully fly to some places or places come see you, whatever, but now you've done all the hard work and especially coming back from an injury. So good luck for being, and congratulations for being resilient, getting yourself back in a position to have this pro day and maybe whatever else you do between now and then, and have a chance to enjoy the process.
I can't wait to see you hit a quarterback again. It's been too long. I'm sure you're going through withdrawals.
Dude, I'm itching. Hey, I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting God, and I'm taking it day by day. So
you got Caleb Williams a couple of times in one game, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. Yes, I did.
Go do it again.
Hey, man, good luck. Congratulations on getting back to where you are. We'll look forward to seeing you in the NFL.
All right, thank you, guys.
Colin Oliver from Oklahoma State with us on 365 Sports. We're at Big 12 Pro Days inside the Star in Frisco. It is the Cowboys' home. Just a little. It's not a little bit. It used to be just a quick little drive up from Dallas, but now it's quite the poke because of the traffic and also so much more. So offensive linemen worked out earlier. We recorded some of those. We just had, again, Colin Oliver of Oklahoma State, and Tyler Batty now joins us from BYU. Hell of a player for Kalani Sitake and company. We love talking to the BYU guys, man. Always enjoy it. What's this day been like for you?
It's been awesome. Thanks for having me on. It's been awesome. I've really enjoyed it, and it's just been great to come out here with the guys and perform and see what we can do.
We talked to Caleb Etienne earlier, a guy that you went around and practiced a bunch of times, and asked him about Kalani Sitake, and I asked him, is there something bad you could say about him, at all? Because we love him. He's on our show a lot. He hugs us when he sees us. He's the every coach. You guys beat teams. You have coaches running over, being I'm really happy for him. He just beat you. You just beat him, and the coach is happy. How is that possible?
I just. Kalani, the guy he is, man. You talk about just a principled dude, and cares and loves the people around him. That's how he does it, man. And it's incredible. You know, I think if you talk to dang near any guy at BYU, like, oh, hey, why are you at BYU? They're going to look at you and say, because of Kalani. And I'm going to say the same thing. I went to BYU because of Kalani. And so, just the guy he is, he's just incredible mentor, incredible coach.
What was it like just to experience the year that you guys had? Obviously, at the end, there's a little bit of like, we wanted more. You wanted to be in the playoff, I'm sure. You wanted to accomplish more, but it was still a really good year. So I see like the disappointment, but there's also the high moments. So what was that kind of balance like for you?
Yeah, it was, grateful for the opportunities we had. Of course, bummed, being 9-0, that's great. You know what I mean? But we could have been 10-0, and that's the bittersweet part. And so, I really enjoyed this past season. I almost left a year ago and came out a year prior. And so I was super grateful. And in that sense, we accomplished everything that I went back to accomplish. And so, going 10-2 in the regular season and then winning a bowl game, it was a blast, and so you get it's like I said, you're a little salty because things could have gone better, but at the same time, you got to be grateful for what took place. It's hard to win. It's hard to win.
How much did you guys feel this thing of not getting maybe your fair due when it came to playoff consideration?
Like I said, we held everything. We held our future in our hands, man.
Yeah.
So that was, we don't take any offense to it because we made the decision by losing 2 games. You know what I mean? So, like, at the end of the day.
How about that's refreshing.
Yeah. I mean, let's just be honest. We had 2 games in our hands. We could have ended the season undefeated, and no one could have said otherwise. We could have went to the Big 12 championship, won that. So it's like it's the same thing. It's like if you want to be considered, win. And we didn't, so we can't really complain.
I was sitting over there where a lot of the parents are, and I was watching the warm-ups to when you guys started to do your workouts. You had as much of a workout prior by doing the swim moves and doing all the tedious things. How often do you do that? Because it seemed like that you were locked in mentally.
Yeah, that is, that's part of my process. I say this all the time. I'm a big process guy, right? Process is what creates the product, and as long as you stick to the process, the product's inevitable. So for me, it's one of those details in the process where it's like, hey, yeah, I know what I need to do, and as long as I take care of that, everything will take care of itself. So those little parts of my game, I try to stay sharp on.
You mentioned that you could almost, probably debated coming out last year. So now here you are. I mean, kind of how do you feel as a player another year later? And, kind of what were you looking to, show out there today?
Yeah, it was such a blessing to go back to BYU for another year. Again, relationships, formed and experiences gained. For me, my personal development and also as a player in the football sense took a big step forward. And so it's a dream come true to be here, man, and just super grateful and just, trying to enjoy it and make the most of it.
What because you guys, fortunately for you, you ran the same defensive system the entire time, which makes you probably a lot more comfortable. What systems do you feel pretty confident in?
I feel like I can play in just about anything. I've taken a lot of snaps on the interior D-line. I've taken a lot of snaps on the edge, and I've taken a lot of snaps in coverage and off-the-ball linebacker. And so all at varying weights as well. So, I feel like I'm lucky in that sense because I got a vast breadth of experience. And so realistically, whether it's a 3-4 or 4-3, whatever you want to, play in the box, I feel like I can fit.
What's it like to play in front of a sold-out home crowd there in Provo? I think the Big 12 fans have been like awoken to what it's like as far as an atmosphere. The people that have traveled there have come back with rave reviews. I mean, what's it like to play in front of that crowd?
Man, every time someone mentions it, I get chills. I really do. Like, there's nothing like playing a home game at Lavelle, especially at night. I'm telling you, those 8 p.m. kickoffs, as much as everyone wants to complain, dude, you're under the lights. Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's like there's no better feeling. And so, yeah, having Lavelle Edwards as a home stadium, man, and just our fans, they're incredible. They show up and show out. And so, if you have not been to a game in Lavelle Edwards Stadium, I highly encourage you to. I would say it's top 5 in the country when it comes to atmosphere.
How much higher is it at night? I mean, obviously more night games are always more just like the even more passionate, but is it even like on another level?
I don't think there's a better night game atmosphere than LaVell Edwards. I just don't think you're going to find it. Yeah, it's the best, man.
For you got to see the, like, being a major independent and then being in the league.
Yeah.
Where you're there. Everybody I've talked to at BYU talked about that was like a struggle being a major independent because you had really no assurances on how the rest of the world was going to feel about how good you were. You guys essentially won the Pac-12 2 years before you joined the Big 12. You beat all this
yeah.
So all of that, but like, what is the difference of going into a conference and then knowing, like, okay, now I know what the expectations are, what we have to do, as opposed to, let's hope we win, enough and impress. Like, when we beat a team that people don't think we're going to beat, that we beat them by an appropriate margin, so the people who don't know anything about us.
Right. No, that's a great question. Independence was fun because we got to travel all over the country, right? So, my first 3 years at BYU, we got to play whoever. So it was fun because we got to go to different states and see different venues and experience, different conferences. But at the end of the day, unless you go undefeated, there's especially in the old playoff system, unless you win undefeated, and even then, we'd have to get lucky to really, even get a New Year's Six bid or a playoff bid. And so, that being in a conference, there's more to compete for, right? There's a little bit more on the line, and week in, week out, that. And so I really enjoyed being independent, but it's nowhere near, again, being in a conference and, having those rivalries and competing for a conference championship, you know what I mean? And so it was cool to have both experiences.
Batman? Where did that come from?
I don't know. I don't know exactly, honestly, where it got started. I've been a big Batman guy, growing up. But I don't know exactly like when that.
Did someone call you that, or did you come up? Did you wear a costume, or what?
I did wear a costume. I was actually Batman for Halloween.
Okay.
So that may have played into
that
it.
Might have helped.
Exactly. It's also gone. That was more playing into the name, already. But I'll take it.
Okay, you're kind of in Craig and I's wheelhouse here when it comes to Batman. I'm curious, who's the best Batman?
Oh, Christian Bale.
Okay.
Yeah, hands down. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Do we have varying opinions there?
Okay, it's a fair answer. Yeah, it's tough.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, Keaton's great.
Yeah.
I like the newest one, but like
the
still,
Bale
like,
movies were the best movies.
Hands down. Overall, that trilogy's just incredible. I don't think they'll ever be able to beat it.
Yeah.
They're trying, but I don't think they will. I think you're absolutely right on that.
So Adam West doesn't get into this discussion?
That's your Batman. That's your Batman.
That's all. I know I didn't want to offend anyone, I don't want to say, old, but, from
a little bit of a gap there. But you mentioned, I asked you about LaVell Edwards and playing there, and then you talked about being the Big 12. Was there an environment you went to that you enjoyed, or one that maybe stood out to you, or just a scene maybe of the teams that you played here in these last couple of years?
We've played some. I really enjoy hostile environments. I eat it up. You want to go in there, man, and you want to you want to make a statement, and you want to send I kind of want to send them home sad.
Nothing better than leaving a home stadium quiet.
Right. No, 150%. You go in there and it's like everyone's throwing. I mean, we've been Southern Georgia. The AD had the donors pretty much buy out the stadium so our fans could show up because our fans travel well.
Mm-hmm.
You go from that, and we had burritos and tacos, burgers getting thrown at us at that game. It was crazy. West Virginia was a good hostile environment. If you guys watched the ASU game, ASU was wild.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Were you like, hey guys, we're not done?
Yeah, no, that whole thing was crazy. I was like, guys, we're still playing football. I mean, if you guys want to get on the field, pad up. But hey, if you guys don't want to, I would suggest you remove yourself from the premises. And of course, Utah. The rivalry game at Utah came down to the wire. Of course, that in-state rivalry is always a blast, and the atmosphere is incredible.
You guys don't like each other.
No,
not at all. They don't like it.
No. What's the release? Sorry, Paul. The release of emotions after that Utah win. I mean,
especially this year was wild.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. Is this year's in particular, like just the the way all that went and to be there at the end of that game, probably with nothing left in you, I would imagine.
No.
Just what did that feel like?
It was incredible. It was a blast. You know, it was a roller coaster, right? I mean, if you saw, you know, the ESPN prediction, it's like 99.9% Utah, and then it flips. You know, that it was incredible. But it was, you know, when you're standing on the sideline and your offense, it's 4th and however long, and they're backed up in their own end zone, and you're like, this is it. Like it's game over. You know what I mean? And it's
sure.
You're praying and you're hoping, man. And you're like, I trust our offense can get it done. And then, you know, sure enough, a little bit of breath of fresh air, and they get some life, and, you know, we go down and kick a field goal. But yeah, just a roller coaster of because
BYU has this ridiculously good football history and legends that have come out of the NFL Hall of Famers. Who is the person that's walked into that locker room that you've been like, oh, wow?
Like past player?
Yeah, past player.
Oh, man. You know, it's funny because, like Robbie Bosco,
Yep.
he works on the 3rd floor
Yeah.
at BYU. So you see him around all the time.
Yeah.
So it's funny because you don't realize who it is until you're like, oh, and then there's Chad Lewis. He also works on the 3rd floor. And those guys are around, and then, you know, if you know, you know. If you don't, they're just some other guy, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I think, again, you talk about someone like, you know, let's say Fred Warner, right? Who's incredible, you know, and yeah, he's come back and, you know, mentored guys, and, you know, still been a supporter of BYU. You know, that's a guy that you're just like, that's the best inside linebacker in the NFL. Like, we're talking.
I love the way he
like,
plays the game.
Right? So do I. I just like, so I, you know, I do. People are like, you know, you watch him? Like, yeah, I watch him, of course, you know, like flies around. And so, you know, when him or Kyle Van Noy, or even like a guy like Kyrus Tonga, you know, who I played with, you know, comes back in the locker room, you know, those guys have been great mentors to me and have been great examples. And so, yeah, I mean, like I said, you're talking about some of the best players in the league when they come back. You know, Kyle Van Noy, you know, just had his best season. Yeah. You know, it was 10th, 11th year. So it's cool to have those guys back around. And then, you know, we get a Steve Young. You know, when he comes back to talk, you're like,
yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was kind of successful. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool
and
to have
he
that
loves
history.
coming back. McMahon and Gifford Nielsen and all that, they do love coming back on the camp. Yeah. There's that reunion that you guys have in the spring or somewhere where they come back, and it's a big deal.
Yeah, I was actually at that dinner about this time. It was almost this time last year. We're coming up on our alumni game here in a couple weeks, and so all those guys came back, and we had 400 some odd alum that played at BYU, and they're all there. And you have some of these legends that played however 10 plus years in the NFL, and you're just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
And so
all
it's
from your
cool.
alma mater.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah. And they're going to mention you. You had a hell of a career.
I thank you.
And then I love the fact you came back. You were successful again. The way you guys ended the season, I thought Dion was spectacular, the way he talked about you guys after the bowl game. Of course, here's another guy, gets beat. I love Colin Oliver.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be madder about this if this guy was a jerk, but
what he's doing for college football across the board is awesome.
You guys beat him up, but that week, was there a motivation because of the glitz and glamour and a lot of the players that are getting so much attention, or was it just go to work and win the game?
It was just go to work. We were salty a little bit, that we had missed out on that Big 12 championship. And, again, we wanted to make a statement. It was tricky. We kind of fell off the bus, for 2 weeks, and we were like, we're getting back on the damn bus. Like, it's time to go to work. And so, and we did, and we wanted to make a statement. So that game was a lot of fun.
Man, thanks for coming up. Appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
guys.
Faith got you up here. We've got offensive linemen. We've had a couple of defense. Colin Oliver, Oklahoma State, another Big 12 guy, and wish you the best. I mean,
thank you, guys.
Literally, we've had players. Is it now you get to decompress a little? You got to keep working out, but do you get to enjoy it a little bit now the next month until the draft?
Absolutely. Again, the tension kind of builds.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
your future.
Yeah, exactly. And it's out of your hands. You just get to wait around, keep training,
and
wait.
You might get to take some 30 visits. Go to
right. There's going to be some of that, some workouts,
places you've never been.
Right. I think you should do this and start a trend. Put up on your Twitter, Instagram, whatever you do, and say, I have decided these are my 7 finalists that I want to.
Yeah, I don't want to get blackballed from the NFL. I'd rather actually play. I don't want to. I don't get enough weight to do that.
Here are my 32 finalists.
Yeah,
Here you go.
Yeah.
In no order.
Maybe I'll post that. Yeah. Here are my 32 finalists. Yeah,
that would be funny.
Yeah.
Do you care where you end up?
No, man. I just, again, dream come true. Just want to make the most opportunity.
What a great segment. Thanks, Tyler.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, guys.
Tyler Batty, BYU, where we're in Frisco, and it's a Big 12 Pro Days. This is 365 Sports.
Book month at Allen Samuels in Waco. Right now, drive home a 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab or Ram Lone Star Crew Cab, both with massive $15,000 off MSRP. Looking for unbeatable value? Drive home a Ram 1500 Tradesman Quad Cab starting at just $35,995 or upgrade to a Tradesman Crew Cab for only $37,995. These deals won't last long. Hurry to Allen Samuels today.
Come by. Let's be friends.
Hundreds of things that can affect our sleep, but what's affecting yours? Sleep Doctor's Home Sleep Test brings the precision of a sleep lab into the comfort of home to help you get answers and unlock a lifetime of great sleep. Start now at sleepdoctor.com/TV.
I'll never get used to this.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Is 365 Sports.
The 3 o'clock hour is sponsored by Waco Custom Marketplace. Meats, sweets, Texas treats, and a cut above the rest. 425 Lake Air Drive, Waco.
I just got a text from Kyle Visser. Let's see what Kyle said. What was it? Just a minute ago. He was the last text that I had. Tyler Batty is great. Great interview. If he doesn't make it in football, he has a big future in media.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
Or anything he wants to do. Anything that he wants to do. We're going to hear from Garmon Randolph, played at Baylor. He'll be with us in just a moment. Faith Lynch has done a great job with us, helping us get people and players up to us as we're on the air. She's going to bring him up here.
Here he comes.
And in fact, in just a second.
How could you not?
He's a big, tall drink of water.
Yeah, he's 6'7".
Yeah.
That's a foot taller than me. A foot.
I think it's actually 13 inches taller than
foot.
you.
It's a foot. Hey, Garmon, let's go.
Garmon, how you doing, man? Good to see you. All right, we're going to have him on. And thank you, Faith, another great guest that joins us here in just a second on 365 Sports. And we've talked to him over the years, a lot of years.
Too many.
Garmon Randolph of Baylor with us on 365 Sports in Frisco. What was today like for you, and what's this experience been like for you?
I would say it's a full circle moment. I get to watch Matt. Me and him both been here for 6 years, so it's a really cool experience to be out here and be able to show what I can do.
All right, I'm gonna juxtapose your personalities. You are like Mr. Mellow. Matt is a psycho, right?
Crazy.
He's a psycho.
He's crazy.
What when you're like? He was good for a 15-yarder for a while, like almost every game, and then he kind of got that under control. What is it like to play with that guy behind you, knowing that,
I like it like that.
Yeah.
He I need him to be like that. It make me want to be like that, Somebody got to be like that. Honestly.
Garmon, what was this past year like for you guys to get 8 wins? I know there's a little bit left out there, at the end especially. So a little bit of positive, a little bit of negative. How would you sort of describe your final year there at Baylor?
It was good. I mean, we could have definitely been better if we would have started the rest of the season off like we played the rest of the season. Wouldn't nobody be able to mess with us.
Why were you guys so connected, even in the hardest times, coming off a bad season, knowing that the coaching staff's got pressure from the outside? It didn't seem that ever changed your mentality.
Nah, I mean, when the coaches is about to get fired and stuff, that's because of us.
Yeah,
we taking food off their table. Mm-hmm. We making them be out of a job. When they leave, we still gonna be here. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, it's this is way bigger than just us. And, people got to love the game for real.
We've talked about players who've played a long time, and you mentioned Matt and you in the 6 years. There's a guy at Miami that played 9.
I heard about that. Was he the tight end?
Tight end, McCormick. How many years is too many years?
9. 6.
Did you just ask for a waiver? You have 2 more years left in it now.
I ain't doing that. I'm done with college.
Yeah.
Does it feel good to be done with school?
Yes.
Yeah. You look. There's not people out there walking the earth that are 6'7", that are 6'7" and lean and long and move like you. What have you been hearing from teams? What have you been working on? What's been your focus in this process?
Honestly, just show them how athletic I can be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they hold that to a big premium. I mean, I had to do all this today with a pulled hamstring. I pulled my hamstring on Friday before I flew in. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I gave them as much as I could give them today. Yeah. But, there's still private workouts and all that stuff that you go through before the draft. Mm-hmm. So, I got time. But, I mean, the Cowboys was definitely remember I said, we said we want you first. Make sure you get in there with us. So, I don't take anything I hear and stick with that, because people just say stuff at the end of the day. I'm waiting till draft day. I don't even ask where y'all see me projected. Don't want to know.
You can see yourself practicing in this facility, though. You see yourself walking around these hallways.
Yeah, I like to know taxes.
Man, you are a businessman, too.
That's one thing I did learn.
Yeah.
This is a business. This ain't college football no more.
Oh. Yeah. Is college football getting to be almost?
Yes, 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
1,000%.
So, what, you like it that way, or did you like it when?
Yeah, this is not high school no more. This is almost the real world.
How much did you see that whole, I guess, mindset sort of shift from when you started? Mm-hmm. This was non-existent.
Nope.
So, how did that change even team dynamics and just the way the approaches were by the end of your career versus, how much did you have to deal with that you weren't having to deal with before?
I feel like the only difference is entitlement.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting paid more than a guy or something like that and you shouldn't be, or you're getting paid and you just go out there and I don't know, cuss on here, and they BS the whole time or something like that, people act different when they get real money. That's a real thing.
But that's in any part of life. Yeah. But yeah.
Did you? But in a way, sometimes accountability, it's harder maybe to notice those guys that are not going to be all in, that are in it for this. Mm-hmm. you guys, the smart ones know that, like, hey, if we play well and we're getting paid, we're going to get paid. Exactly. Like, that's the thing. I'll like, it's going to do that, as opposed to the ones that are like, well, I got to get paid first and then I'll play later. Mm-hmm. But can it kind of help weed out the cancers from a locker room maybe quicker than before?
You can say it.
No.
Yeah.
Not at Baylor.
Okay.
Yeah. But at other schools, you missing stuff, you not being places on time, they take your money. They'll take your money. They get fines and stuff at other schools. We didn't do that. Mm-hmm. And I told them they should have.
You told who?
The upstairs. Y'all need to start fining people. They don't want to show up on time. They don't want to do shit on time. You're going to get fined in the NFL.
No. Yeah. Or get fired in real life.
Exactly. You'll get cut. Like, so.
Did you ever have like a come to Jesus moment as a team? Like maybe when you guys were struggling early on.
When we got smacked by Iowa State.
At Iowa State, okay.
Yep.
So you did.
Yes.
What happened?
We got our ass whooped.
No, I know that. But what did you guys do after? What was it? I mean,
that's when we found out they was really on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got man.
After that, I thought he was. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But hey, if everybody has the same common goal, like for real, and truly believe that, then there shouldn't be no reason your team bad.
Did Dave ever bring that up, Coach Aranda? Was that ever brought up by him? He
never said anything about it.
You guys obviously had that common goal. When you got that first win of the streak, is that when you felt, because you had these games where you're right to Colorado, you're right there.
We should have beat Colorado. We should have beat Utah. We should have beat a lot of people.
Yeah, you're right there. And then instead of like getting down and being like, well, we just can't do this, you're like, no, this is flipping now.
We already knew that we was better than them teams.
And so then once you did it, it was like, okay, forget about all that stuff. It's over now.
Exactly.
Was that how it was?
Yeah, you just got to watch the film.
Yeah.
Film don't lie. The eye in the sky don't lie.
and you go into Lubbock and beat the hell out of Tech. And that lit the fire.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned entitlement and players getting paid, and that maybe that wasn't something that was the policy wasn't well. All players feel that way unless they were the ones being entitled.
Matt, he don't make faces at me. You said wait. Sorry.
So
repeat that.
Did was entitlement an issue, and did you know the ones? What did you say? Did you say anything to those players? How do you do that? How do you get through it without losing the locker room?
I don't know if I could ever be a coach. One thing I learned, people don't listen. Trying to be a leader, people don't listen. Like, people don't want to be helped sometimes. But I'm not your coach. I can't take you off the field for real. So, I mean.
Did you ever have somebody come to Jesus with you at all in your football career?
With me?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe when I got in trouble. Probably. I was on a high for sure because we had just won the Big 12. And then the next year in 2022, I had a pretty nice season. So I felt like nothing could stop me. And then the Lord brought me back down to ground zero where I should have been, honestly.
But those things are, like, you look at it now and it was painful, but do you look at it now as like, well, I'm glad that, like, I learned from that? Like, was, I'm glad something happened before it got, like, worse than it was, right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, and that did the 6th year, like, being there 5-6 years, you can now see it, like, maybe through a different lens because your life that you see the young guys come in and you're just going to tell them, like, hey, you're going to do what you're going to do, but let me just leave this for you so that when the light goes on, you'll be like, yeah, Garmon told me that.
Yeah. I had to talk, like, after I had gotten into all that trouble, I talked to the team, like, when I came back before the season started, before the 2023 season started. But I guess it didn't work because we was terrible.
Yeah, that was
terrible.
Just awful.
Terrible year.
What do you look back on as, like, I mean, the Big 12 championship, the Sugar Bowl, is that right there at the very top of, like, when you look back?
Yes, because when I first got there in 2019, we went to the Sugar Bowl and the Big 12.
Yeah.
And then 2020, we had another down year. But then 2021, we came back and did it again. Actually, 2022 was a good year, too. But, I mean.
The start of it.
You guys just
for sure
melted down at the end. Did anyone want to play in that freezing place?
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh. It felt like I had hooves for feet. Like,
we didn't want to be there either.
I was there outside.
Yeah, we were. No, Emory was. Emory went outside. We were just doing the show. We had to park and drag the equipment in, so we were outside for maybe out and back like 30 minutes
Max,
total,
max.
like the whole day. But that 15 minutes on the way in lasted with me the whole day. I never got warm again until I got to the hotel that night and I got in the shower and like turned it like as far as I could stand it. I was not warm again.
He played in the game.
Yeah, I know.
You're doing all this.
Yeah.
He played in the game.
Yeah.
I didn't wear no sleeves or nothing either. Just I put
And Nate
trying to be
that
tough.
stuff on. I just put that Vaseline all over my body.
like the old Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line, they wear those tight. Air Force didn't care. They wanted a piece of that.
Fine.
They wanted
had,
you that.
But they had the jackets and all that stuff on the sideline. We had nothing.
Ill prepared.
Well, in Texas, we don't ever believe it's going to be as cold as it is until it is.
They turned off our heaters and everything. Because people was hogging the heater standing in front of somebody stood in there so long that they caught on fire like their pants caught. They burned. Yes.
Start to smell something burning. Like, where is that coming from?
They're like, y'all not cold, man. Yes, the hell I am.
That's a game where you just have to
Come on, be
cold,
for real.
man.
Like, it's
Yeah,
cold.
it's
Ain't no
cold.
more being tough.
Yeah. I remember people were like, "Hey, yeah, well, it's great. We're going to go to the game. It's just up in Fort Worth. It's 4 degrees outside," and everybody's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to go. I'm going to stay here."
Eyes, they was watering like,
And freezing.
literally like, oh my gosh.
Do you wear contacts?
Nope.
Okay, I was wondering if you could wear them in that temperature without them just
freezing to your eyes.
Yeah.
Or something. I bet. I wonder. That's a good question.
Garmon, do you feel like you left Baylor better than you found it, and seeing kind of the trajectory of the program? How do you feel about just those guys moving forward? I mean, obviously you feel like there's some things that could be better, but how do you feel about just kind of the state of things as you leave now after 6 years and having seen all of the highs and the lows that you saw?
I think they're in a good place. I feel like I left a good example for the younger guys too, or something to strive for. But always be better than where you left it. Always leave the place better than you left it. So I think I gave as much as I could.
You mentioned you wanted to show your athleticism, your versatility, all of those, and you did that. At Baylor, you moved around quite a bit, that showed your athleticism, made big plays, and then again learned about you're not invincible in any way. And that's part of life too. Where are you going to play in the NFL?
Wherever the team needs me. They seen what I can do. Wherever the team needs me.
Do you like being able to do both things?
I market myself way better.
Yeah.
I can do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I played offense when I came out of high school. So I mean, it's just everything natural. Just playing football at the end of the day. Yeah.
If an NFL team sits down with you and has a one-on-one with you, and you are already very much transparent about your life, and they ask you, well, how do we know you're not going to go back to that time again?
Okay. They've asked that because I'm grown and I've actually had to deal with what happened. I mean, you can't run from a situation like that. You have to take full responsibility. And it's just all you can do is say it's not going to happen again. You just got to let me show you.
That's the best answer I think you can give. That's the best answer you can give.
We have had Tyler Batty from BYU.
That's my boy.
Colin Oliver from Oklahoma State, who you missed almost all of last year. And the personalities from all of you, and we've had offensive linemen, they're a little bit more boring. I can say that because all of them have left the building. But the personalities and just again, it's just been a really good run for us here in the last 3 segments we've done, including with you. And, yeah, you're right. You were there a long, long time. You saw the good, the bad, the ugly, and the comeback, maybe. Yeah. Is this team, with who they have coming back, are they ready to take it and move it to the next level? Or do they fill in the blank?
You don't want to jinx them, I know.
I don't think he's worried about jinxing them.
I ain't around a team like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's true.
I wouldn't know. I don't even know the transfers, like who came in.
You got a bunch.
I know they got a lot. You know what I'm gonna say here? If we would have put it all together last year, we would have been at least top 5 in the country.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, look,
bro, I'm telling you,
right there. Like you're right there in several games. So the record would have, the record would have probably indicated that.
Yes.
So does that help? It's over. College football's over. Now you got this next level. Does that keep you up sometimes?
Oh, yeah. Every time I see somebody from Colorado, I talk to them about that. They come up to me and talk to me about it. I'm like, bro, I'll never ever get over that. Ever. That's never happened to me.
Where would you?
We're on the sideline because I had a high ankle sprain
Okay.
after I got the sack in the second half.
Yeah, the mini sacks. You guys, you were
Yeah,
all
like 10, 12. We was on
A lot of crazy stuff had to happen. You know, I mean, of course, Travis Hunter had to happen, and then, I mean, he threw a dot. I mean,
ain't no dot. That should have been an interception.
Knockdown, interception, anything.
The ball floated in the air, bro. Like all y'all on the back line. That's y'all's fault. The whole secondary should not have played the rest of the season. If you want to be honest. I can say that now. Since I'm not a Baylor student. I can say that.
Well, I'm sure you said it then too, right?
I did.
Yeah, so you're not like saying something after you left. You bolted town.
No.
That was that's the part that I think everybody doesn't understand. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, but it's neither here nor there. Pass is over. Time do not stop for nobody. So
yeah. You're very wise, Garmon.
Yeah, I try to be. I try to be.
So have you always been like the word chill was brought up very early in this conversation because Matt Jones is a psycho? Have you always just kind of been this way? Or?
I'm a really outgoing person.
You are?
Yeah. I'm just trying to be professional, you know. But I'm definitely a really outgoing person, so I'm just talking like this and being calm to calm my nerves, to be honest.
Okay.
I got to ask you one question about Sawyer Robertson. So he doesn't start the year as a starter.
Nope.
Because DeQuan Finn, you brought him in from Toledo, got some money, didn't work out, and then Sawyer has that it factor in his neck and his ability and the leadership skills. Can you try to explain what he meant and what he meant turning that thing around?
He's what you call a football player, a real-life football player. Like, he going to go out there and he going to play like that all the time. He played the whole season hurt. After, like, I know y'all noticed when he wasn't running. He wasn't running. He was hurt the whole season. Mm-hmm. He was still balling.
Well, the year before against Utah, if he's not playing on, like, I mean, not even both, like, he's hurting both legs. Maybe that, like, things go differently because he was playing hurt, like, through a lot. That most guys would be like, all right, sit down, but because you guys needed him, he went out there.
Exactly.
What does that mean to the guys?
You willing to sacrifice? Like, you got to be willing to sacrifice something. You better play hurt. I'm playing hurt. You better play hurt.
Yeah.
Sorry, you want to win. If you love the game enough, then you're going to do what it takes to win. But Sawyer is a dog. That's what you call a dog. And he athletic as hell. And he could throw the ball. And he could do everything. He could lead. Like, and he's just an actually good person. An actual good person. So you can let him critique you. You can let him do all that because you know it's coming from a good spot. And he means everything he says.
Was there any blowback when they named DeQuan the starter, or is that a known thing from the beginning because of the NIL?
I feel like it was a known thing. Why would you bring somebody in and pay them that much money for them to sit on the bench?
Man, it's been fun talking to you.
Yeah.
And we'll be in touch. I think we still have your number.
As somebody who just shoots straight as much as possible, I apprate how much you shoot straight as well.
Because I don't like bullshitters. Tell me the truth.
I'm there with you. So, I appreciate your transparency, just being upfront about whatever. So, man, thank you for the time. Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty good. Really good stuff. We appreciate your time, man. Thank you, Garmon.
Of course.
Garmon Randolph from Baylor and at the Big 12 Pro Days in Frisco on 365 Sports.
Fellow tall guy.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Pizza, burgers, and Bears football. There's no place around Waco that serves them all other than Bubba's 33. Come show your green and gold and enjoy some of Waco's best food and beverages while watching your favorite team, the Bears. When real Bears fans get hungry, Bubba's 33 is the #1 spot for ice-cold drinks, hand-stretched, stone-baked pizzas, and bacon-infused burgers. Join us for indoor or patio dining. Bubba's 33, Waco's restaurant and proud supporter of Baylor Bears football. Sick 'em, Bears!
Don's Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. Don's Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
Ready to take your business to the next level? Carrion Solutions has got you covered. We deliver world-class IT consulting, including Quest On Demand and Migration Manager, M365 and Exchange migrations, Active Directory assessments, security hardening, and Windows Server upgrades. Our experts specialize in consulting, monitoring, support, and managed IT services. We promise vision, professionalism, and unbeatable value. Satisfaction guaranteed. If you're not happy, we make it right. Remember the name Carrion Solutions. For more info, email sales@carrionsolutions.com or visit carrionsolutions.com. That's CARRION solutions.com. Carrion Solutions IT success guaranteed.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
This is 365 Sports. Text us at 254-339-1122. The text line is sponsored by Riverbend Liquor and Wine, with the most extensive variety of craft beer in Waco. A hidden gem on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street.
West Virginia offensive lineman Wyatt Milm with us. It is Big 12 Pro Days in Frisco. Craig Smoak, Paul Catalina, David Smoak. So what was today like? What was this for you? What did it mean to you, and what do you kind of feel how you did?
Really, I just wanted to come back out here because I did like the 40 and everything at the combine, and I didn't do my numbers on the 5-10-5 wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I came back and I didn't do the L drill. So I just wanted to come and do the 5-10-5 and L drill, and then just come out here and do the position drills. So, and I felt also be able to see the teammates again. That's the first time seeing them in a couple months. So that was special to be back out there with them.
Yeah. All right. See, there's a picture of a guy right there, Zach Martin. Yes, and there's another one down there of Tyron Smith. They're both not here anymore. Now, as a dyed-in-the-wool Cowboys fan and the only one who's sitting at this table,
that's for sure.
I would like you to walk around Frisco, find the places you like. I want you here. I'm a big fan of yours, Wyatt. I'm sure, like, anywhere is great. There's 32 teams. They're all going to give you, you have an opportunity for all that. But do you think about, like, in the process, like, do you look at teams like, oh, man, that would be a great fit for my skill? Or just right now, do you not do that because you don't want to, like, get too locked in?
Yeah, not right now. It really don't matter to me where I am. As long as the team likes me, that's where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
So it'd be great to come be a Cowboy.
There we go. Yeah.
But, it honestly don't matter to me.
I'm going to follow up. I'm going to ask you, I wonder if you know this statistic. How many sacks have you given up in the last 2 years?
I think it's 0.
It is 0. 0 sacks in the last 2 years. So when people start to drill down in numbers and start watching all these weird things, that's a number I think is pretty important because that's what your job is, right?
Yes, sir. Don't let no one touch the quarterback.
Yeah. And he's rascally, too. You had Garrett Green. He's not just standing back there.
Oh, no. You never know where he's going to be. But he's a special player, and he helps us out a lot. So, it was just fun to block for him.
Wyatt, how would you compare this setup to the combine in terms of just kind of seeing the guys coming in and out, all of the different drills, just the setup? What do you make of Big 12 Pro Day?
I think it's kind of similar to Indy. You come in yesterday, you have like the meetings and everything, which is kind of similar. But besides, like it's kind of a bigger group, so you're more like standing around a little bit more here. Mm-hmm. So that's only really the bigger difference, I would say, between the two is. But the drills and everything are the same. You mentioned that compared to the combine, Indianapolis, which is a massive event. The NFL Network's here today, and there's other media here today. How have they, you think, produced this event? How has the Big 12 handled this in your opinion? Like, what do you mean?
Has it been comfortable? Have you been taken care of? The amenities, everything?
Yeah. So the rooms are nice and everything. The day I've been here, I got in here yesterday around 10:30 in the morning, and I've been taken care of. So I can't say nothing bad about it.
Good.
Yeah. So it's been a good time here.
Wyatt Milm from West Virginia with us on 365 Sports.
How comfortable are you moving around the line? Because that's a big thing for a lot of you guys. You might envision yourself as a tackle, but the team you get drafted, you can play guard tomorrow, you can play tackle in 2 years. Do you feel comfortable about playing either position?
Yeah, because I played right tackle freshman year, sophomore through senior, I played left tackle. So I know I can play tackle. I think that's one thing at the Senior Bowl. It was kind of a learning experience, but I just wanted to go out there and show that I'd be able to play guard. I'm comfortable anywhere. If they want to put me in at center, put me in at center. I feel like I can go out there and play it. The Big 12 championship, and I honestly believe that if you had told me after the year that we would have went 6 and 7, there's no way. But everything, that's not what happened to Coach Brown. I don't really agree with it, me personally, but that ain't my responsibility. That's the higher up, so I can't really say too much on it. But again, I felt like at the beginning of the year we was ready to go compete for a Big 12 championship, and some things just didn't go our way.
Wyatt, you guys are in Morgantown, and a lot of the conference is not. I mean, it's a grind. And now when you've added BYU, Colorado, Utah, the Arizona schools, you have UCF and Cincinnati pretty close. What is that like to be kind of isolated among 16 teams in the conference?
I guess it's nice, but I feel like every away game, you're like, it's just you versus it's your team versus everyone else. So I feel like it don't matter if you're an hour away from, even if we go to Pitt, it's an hour away. Yeah, so we don't like them and they don't like us. So you can.
Yeah, we've heard that's a little intense.
What is that particular rivalry like when that game is going on? What's the feel in the building? Is it just different than some of the other games?
Before the game, the build up is great. You can definitely feel it. When you're pulling in on the bus going in, you can definitely tell we don't like each other. But again, once you step on the field, though, it's just a regular game. So you can't really let that the emotions get too high on that. So you just got to keep this think this is just a normal game. But yeah, before the game, you can definitely tell.
How old were you when you learned how to sing not Rocky Top?
Country Roads.
I know, because honestly, growing up, I lived so close to Marshall, and I was more of a Marshall.
Yeah.
So I would probably say once I started really getting recruited to West Virginia, so probably I think it was my sophomore year of high school, that's when I really started learning the song and everything.
When it's belting out in the stadium, when things are good, what's that like?
It's awesome. Especially everyone stays and sings the song at the end of the game, and you're there with your teammates and enjoying a win. It's a special, especially all the work you put out through the week. So, yeah, it's special.
They don't burn couches anymore, I'm told.
I don't believe so.
No. Have you never got to witness a couch burning?
No, sir.
No? Does that bum you out a little bit? You feel like you missed out on the good times?
I feel like that'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
You look over and see what that'd be pretty cool.
How would you describe your football personality?
I would say once I step on the field, I'm a different person. It's just when I get in between the lines, it's just different. My mindset is completely different. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. You just.
Yeah, it's just once we get in
not psycho mode, but pretty. Just like.
I think you got to get in a different mode to be able to play this game.
Well, especially in the trenches, right?
100%.
Of all the guys I saw out there, you seem to be about as lean as any of them. I mean, you're tall, obviously, with a frame, but there's guys who could have you guys some of you wear 300 pounds differently.
Yes, sir.
Have you always been able to kind of stay that way, or have you battled your weight, or you needed to gain more weight, or what? Right
now, I'm a little light, to be honest. I want to gain I'm going to get back up to 320 here soon, so I'm going to be back onto that gaining weight. But I felt like I've always been able to carry it well. It's taken a lot of work and a lot of with the nutritionist and Coach Mike and our strength staff. So, yeah, it's a lot of work, but I felt like I've always been able to keep it well.
All right. Thank you very much.
Wyatt Milm, this is my dude.
Yeah,
I've been talking about you for a while.
He's got a football crush on
Oh,
you.
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's my dude right here, Wyatt
Milm, All-American offensive lineman, West Virginia, with us in Frisco at Big 12 Pro Days. Thanks for your time. So we're now into the early part of March, and how many of you, as the year ended or this year began, said, I'm going to get myself in shape, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to lose some inches, I'm going to lose some pounds, and now here we are, the first week in March, and did you do that? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lakeshore Drive in Waco, personal trainers to help you reach your goals, and they know how to do that. Randall Corley, Christy London, Robin Nelson, Nathan Roach, and Lori Hall are there to help you. To get rid of that little extra that you have around your waist, or to just get fit. Cardio, strength, fitness. Why not now? Don't wait until, I'm going to get ready for the summer. Do that now so you can relax and enjoy the summer if you go to the beach, swimming pool, or just stay in shape or get in shape. Also, Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has a bunch of tennis courts, including an 1,100-seat stadium court. They are resurfacing some of the tennis courts. Some of them are done. Some of them are being resurfaced now, and it is spectacular. Britt Coleman, Dixon, John, Holt, Clay, and Kenna all can help you out. And then Rachel Carter, director of pickleball, because pickleball is exploding, and they are ready for you with pickleball private lessons from Peter, Dixon, and also Jody. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness, tennis, fitness, pickleball, and more. Do it by yourself, do it with personal trainers, but do it. Lakeshore Drive in Waco.
Alan Samuels House of Travel is a full-service travel agency with highly experienced travel consultants plus support staff with over a combined 150 years in the travel business. They are ready to take care of any travel situation for you, your family, and your business, and with the kind of knowledge to complete a seamless itinerary trip start to finish. They will search for the best deal to accommodate your budget from air to cars, ship to shore, hotel, and even meeting space. Name a destination and they've been there. They know the places to go, and international and missionary travel is one of their unique specialties. Alan Samuels House of Travel, celebrating 50 years in business. Call Connie, Sherry, Linda, or Bambi at 254-776-2560 or find them on Facebook or at houseoftravelwaco.com. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, diagnosing and treating all sports-related injuries, including concussions. These specialists also provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike, whether it's knee or shoulder pain, a wrist injury, orthopedic spine care, and even an arthritis and total joint clinic. Trust the doctors Baylor Athletics trust. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to get you back in the game.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Established in 2007 and independently owned, Alliance Bank Central Texas is committed to helping families and businesses meet their financial goals. From their tellers to their board of directors, they know the importance of superior service and competitive products. Customers have confidence knowing that their financial needs are in good hands. It's your bank, Alliance Bank Central Texas, with 2 Waco locations, 4721 Bosque Boulevard and 191 Archway Drive on Highway 84, and at AllianceBankTexas.com. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Want to send a message to the show? Jump in the Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue chat room.
Joined by Troy basketball coach Scott Cross. I've known Scott since back in the Scott, it's a long time ago. I hate to say this. It's like 30 years ago. You were playing at Tyler, then you went on to UTA. Of course, you coached there for a long time, and you have Troy in the tournament for the first time in nearly a decade. What is it like right now on campus and just the accomplishment of getting in after such a competitive Sun Belt conference throughout the regular season?
Yeah, it's been a great week. That's the one good thing about the Sun Belt is we play our conference tournament early. And so we had won the championship last Monday. So we gave the guys off the next 2 days, let them kind of enjoy it, let their bodies kind of recover since we had played 3 games in 3 days. And then we got back to work on last Thursday. We went we had 2 regular practices. We just didn't go do anything contact. We lifted weights and watched a little bit of film from each of our previous 3 games that we had played. Saturday, we did more regular practice. Then Sunday, we were off. Got to enjoy Selection Sunday. That was quite an experience. We went to Baumhauer's, which is kind of like Alabama's version of Buffalo Wild Wings. Got to see our name called, and that was a special moment there to be able to celebrate that with the Troy Trojan fans. Pretty amazing, surreal experience there. And then, we've had 2 great practices yesterday and today. We've been all business and trying to prepare ourselves to go in there and pull off the upset.
You have won 20-plus games now 4 consecutive years, 20, and you were knocking on the door, and then this year you knocked the door down 23-10. Did the competitiveness of the Sun Belt with James Madison, Arkansas State, and others, did that help you in the tournament? Obviously, you knew them and you beat them, Arkansas State with James Madison, but how much did that help, and how much will that help you starting in the tournament, even though you're playing a blue blood name like Kentucky?
Well, I think the top 5 or 6 teams could have definitely won the Sun Belt tournament. It's a little harder for the 5th or 6th seed the way the bracket is set up, and the top 4 teams did advance to the semifinals. And ton of respect for the Sun Belt Conference. I mean, it's so evenly matched. Even team that was at the bottom of the league, Monroe, beat South Alabama twice. Otherwise, South is conference champions by themselves and not sharing it with 3 other teams. And so from top to bottom, very, very evenly matched. I think Arkansas State has a lot of similarities, and James Madison has some similarities to Kentucky. Obviously, it's hard to replicate the size that they'll have, having 7-footers, 6'11". But, some of these guys we've already played against. We played Dayton last year with Kobe Brea was on that team. We played San Diego State that had Lamont Butler. So we know these guys a little bit, but we've watched them on video. We know how good they can score the basketball and how talented. It's not going to be an easy task, but I think a team like Troy is a team that can go in there and upset somebody because we're tough. We offensive rebounded 5th in the nation. Actually, we're 5th in the nation in offensive rebound. And I believe we're top 15 in steals. We're top 30 or 40 in defensive field goal percentage. So we have a lot of things going our way. Again, we know we're playing a blue blood. We know we're playing one of the most talented teams, but I don't see any reason why, if our guys go out there and play at the highest level, why we can't win this basketball game.
You also played Houston. We know how great they are. You played Oregon. You played Arkansas. Now, they won, but all of them are tournament teams in non-conference. How much did that help you prepare for the rest of the year? Yes, it's also games where you get checks, etc., but those are 3 really good teams to play, and how much does that help, or does it help 3 months later?
It definitely helps, and we're not even the same team that we were back then. We're still trying to figure out our identity and roles, and the Houston game, to me, they're the best defensive team in the country. There may be 2 or 3 similar, close to level, St. John's and, maybe Auburn and, 1 or 2 more, but I've always felt like Houston was the best defensive team and the best rebounding team in the country. So we're not going to face anything as tough as them and as hard to score on as them. And we've played the best of the best there. Arkansas, we led at halftime. We weren't able to hold on. Big Z got going in the Second half, you have a 7-foot-plus guy that I don't know how many threes he hit, but he hit, quite a few against us. If he misses those threes, who knows? We might have been able to win that game. And then Oregon, I would say, similar in a lot of ways to Kentucky in terms of their ability to score the basketball and pass it. They're a high level executing offensive team. And so, we've played teams very, very similar level to Kentucky. Again, we didn't get the result we wanted in any of those games, but I would say that in all three of those games, their staffs were very concerned, going into it, and we're a better team than we were at that point in this game.
How much did Roy Thomas, who may be one of my favorite people ever, and really, after that, Fred Reich, Kyle Keller, Chris Crutchfield, when I was broadcasting the games, but Roy recruited you to Tyler, and I don't know if there's anyone like Roy Thomas. To me, is Kelvin Sampson back in the day. That's the way he played. He held people accountable. He was intimidating. How much did he impact you as a player and also then eventually as a coach?
Well, he did recruit me, and so I was at UTSA, was a redshirt there. They didn't have a good year. They needed to sign some junior college guys. And so, I kind of saw the handwriting on the wall. Coach Sampson, who was an assistant there, not Kelvin Sampson, another Jim Sampson.
Right.
He knew Coach Thomas and got me a tryout. So I came down to Wagstaff Arena, played pickup with the guys. He watched. He thought I was good enough to give me a quarter of a scholarship, I believe, at the time. And then Coach Reich actually took over, so I never ended up playing for Coach Thomas. It was Coach Reich, and then Kyle Keller was the assistant, and they were awesome to play for. And actually, Coach Reich ended up putting me on full scholarship at the end of the fall semester, which was an exciting time for me to, just even though it wasn't a ton, just to be able to say that you were on full scholarship was, something you dreamed about. And then those two guys have been mentors for me and helped me out in so many different ways. Kyle has helped me recruiting. From day one, way back in 1998, 99, when I was recruiting as an assistant coach, so many things. And if I wouldn't have been able to pick his brain on some of the creative things he did in recruiting, I wouldn't be here today. And then Coach Reich was awesome to play for. And, I have a ton of respect for him as a coach. And then, he's an even better person than he is coach. And just those two guys have been awesome, and I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to play for both of them.
Scott, you guys have a busy week. Obviously, that everything's condensed. You're going to play. You play Kentucky. It's what the tournament, to me, is all about. But you have 20 teams. 20 of the at-large teams are from the Big Ten and the SEC. The Big 12 has 6, and that's a great conference, too, and they probably could have had 7. And then, of course, the ACC down, but they have their at-large teams, which is almost like close to 30 of the at-large berths are going to the major conferences. But to me, March Madness, no matter who in the end wins it, is what it's about with the Sun Belt Conference or the Atlantic 10 or all these other conferences. Are we getting away from that? And if they expand it, which they're talking about, is that just going to bring more of the power conferences into the mix for at-large? And maybe if you don't win your tournament, you don't get in.
Yeah, I don't have the answers to that, but I would say you're definitely putting the cookie crumbs together and reading it correctly. I would say it's going to be, more of the power conferences getting at-large berths. I hope it never changes to where every conference gets an automatic qualifier. I do think that's what makes March Madness, and having a matchup like Troy versus Kentucky. I mean, and I'm a mid-major guy, but every year that's what I live for, those first 2 days, like watching it. We'll have 4. If we weren't playing in it, we would have had 4 TVs in our home. We would have grabbed every TV that we own and we would have put it in the living room and set them up so we could watch all 4 games at once. And it's almost, I would say for the boys, it's Christmas, and then it's the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament. And so, I'm thankful that our guys on our team get to experience what it's like and get to be a part of it. thankful that the Troy fans and thankful that the good Lord blessed us and we had this opportunity. And, you know, we don't want it to be one shining moment. We want it to be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6 shining moments. And, you know, I love our basketball team and think we're definitely one of those mid-majors that can do something magical here in March.
All right. You were at UT Arlington. You had a great run there. And then the story is, of course, they wanted to move on. Do you feel like you have just validated whatever you were and who you were at UT Arlington by what's happening at Troy?
Yeah, I mean, when it happened, you know, I put my faith in the good Lord. I knew he had a plan for me. You know, I'm thankful that I had a couple more years on my contract. It probably wouldn't have been as easy of a transition if, you know, you don't know where your next meal is coming from. And, you know, unfortunately, some of my staff, you know, that was the position they were in. So that was, you know, that was obviously very, very tough. Yeah. But, you know, I felt like we had done, you know, great things there. It didn't work out. It wasn't meant to be. You know, it does take some time. I am in a place where I'm completely over it and, you know, thankful that we were able to do it and, you know, just win with the program that we have here. And the people here are so awesome. We absolutely love the people here in Troy and have an amazing staff that works their butt off. And, you know, you just want to experience it. When we set out June 1st, you know, you want to win a conference championship. You want to go to the NCAA tournament. Those are the 2 number 1 goals every single year that you set out. You know, it's been 17 years since I've been a part of it. And, you know, to have the opportunity to go back, we don't take it for granted. And, you know, we're going to enjoy it. But at the same time, we're treating this game just like we did every game in the Sun Belt tournament and every game that we did all year long. And, you know, we're going to go out there and try and present the best version of ourselves. And, you know, hopefully the better team will win.
Last thing, and again, Kentucky and Troy will open up the tournament in the first round. Scott Cross was it. Played at UT Arlington, assistant there, longtime head coach there. I knew him when he was at Tyler Junior College, and they're having a great run. So you do all these nice things, and you're in, and you had time to, like you said, decompress and marinate the success and just enjoy the last few days. But now, when I hear about Scott Frost, the Troy basketball coach, it's about Waffle House. So yeah. that's taken off and kind of gone viral. Tell everybody why you recruit players if they like the Waffle House.
Sure. So, yeah, it started my very first, when I was first hired, like right away, we brought in 2 kids like the very next week that I was hired here. And we're driving down the road and ask them what, you know, if they wanted to go to Waffle House for breakfast, and they turned up their nose. And it was like, you know, I was like, what? Like, I couldn't even believe it. Like, it was hard to believe. And, of course, you know, we did everything we could to recruit them as hard as we could. Long story short, we did not sign either one of them. And then our next recruit was Nick Stampley, who played at Eastern Florida. Can honestly remember the very first clip I saw of him. His coach, Jeremy Schulman, sent it to me, and he knew the type of players because I had recruited a guy that we didn't get maybe 5 or 6 years earlier, and he knew what I was looking for. So he sends me this clip of this ball rolling in the National NJCAA tournament, rolling on the floor at midcourt, and Nick Stampley's diving for it like Dennis Rodman. It was one of those type clips.
Wow.
And then, you know, I was like, oh, okay, you got my attention. And then I started watching it. We offered him a scholarship. So we bring him up, and we're going down the same road. We didn't mention it because we knew how much of a turnoff apparently it was to the previous 2 recruits that we didn't get. But he sees it, and he lights up. He's like, oh, yes, y'all got a Waffle House here. Are we going there tomorrow? We're like, absolutely. And long story short, he signs. He was a part of our team for the first 3 years, was a big part of changing the culture, you know, in terms of not that the culture was bad or anything, but it's a different culture, you know, that we bring here. And we have to recruit to the type of guys that make us successful. And it's, you know, hungry, tough guys that are, you know, blue collar and willing to do the little things and take the stairs. And Nick embodied all of that. And, you know, we signed him, and, you know, the rest of his teammates, similar deal. It was a long story. He had to endure the 9-win season, the 11-win season, but he was able to be a part of that 20-win season. And, helped get this program, turned around, and now we're kind of reaping the benefits of it. But I'm thankful for every one of those guys over the last 6 years that have stuck it out and finished their careers here, because they've been a part of it. And we wouldn't be here today without those guys. But yeah, everyone on our roster love Waffle House. I was just talking to the local reporters, and for every birthday that we have, we always celebrate their birthdays. And so this year we've taken them to Waffle House, and most of the birthdays last year we did as well. And Ms. Jennifer and Ms. Mary there, the GMs, they decorate every time we come in there, and it's amazing. Like, they'll put up streamers and happy birthday and balloons and get a cake, and we'll sing happy birthday. And so on my birthday this year, I turned 50, unfortunately, so that may make you feel really old, since you knew me when I was a player at TJC.
Yeah.
But, so my birthday was December 3rd. Well, my boys had a game, so we just went to eat wherever their game was. And then the next day, I'm in the office working on, watching film of the opposing team. And my wife was like, "Hey, I don't feel like cooking. You want to just meet us at Waffle House?" I was like, "Sure, that sounds like a plan."
That's
Well,
awesome.
30 minutes later, she texts me. She's like, "Kind of need you to be over here like right now to Waffle House." And I was like, "What's the rush?" She's like, "Well, your whole team's waiting over here to surprise you for your birthday, and you're not supposed to know, but I have to tell you, otherwise you're not going to be over here, and they're just waiting on you." And so I rushed over there and acted like I didn't know, but they had a surprise party and streamers and sung happy birthday, and it was awesome. I wouldn't want to celebrate my 50th birthday any other place. And Ms. Breezy, there's a little video that they took. She's in there clapping. She's one of the workers there. And yeah, we love them, all the people there. But our guys, I bet they go there at least once a week on their own, each of our guys. And so they embody what I'm about, what our program's about. You have to be tough, blue collar. If you're bougie, it ain't working here at Troy, and our guys are not bougie at all.
Hey, man, Scott, I appreciate it. Had the crew cut, that low cut, and you were tough, you were smart, you were accountable, you were a great teammate, a hell of a player, and I'm proud of what you've done both at UT Arlington and also now at Troy. Chris Crutchfield, and Crutch, he's been around.
I know. Yes.
And Kyle's going to land in a great spot soon. I can't wait for him to get back in the business too.
Oh, he's the best of the best, and he wins wherever he goes. He just had a tough year this year. It's unfortunate, but he's one of the very, very best coaches I've ever faced. And, yeah, I'm happy for Coach Crutch. It looks like his trash can thing's taken off. I saw that on Selection Sunday, which is pretty awesome. So, yeah, appreciate you having me on the show.
That's Scott Cross, Troy basketball coach. They open up with Kentucky on Friday evening on CBS, and this is 365 Sports.
Automatic Chef is your local vending, office coffee, and micro market provider, delivering outstanding service to break rooms all over Central Texas for over 50 years. Automatic Chef brings the best products to your location at the best prices. With hundreds of choices in fresh food, coffee, snacks, and drinks, let Automatic Chef tailor a break room solution to your needs. Make break time great again with Automatic Chef. Automatic Chef Canteen, 6900 Imperial Drive in Waco, or online at automaticchef.com.
Baylor alumni are more than 160,000 strong. When we all join hands to support our university, we don't just move the needle, we move mountains. Working together, we create life-changing opportunities for students on the field, in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in life for generations to come. So get connected, get involved. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
There are 26
letters in the alphabet, over 600,000 words in the dictionary, and just 3 of them said together can change everything. Let's order pizza. Those 3 words lead to dough made from scratch and 3 fresh signature cheeses that blanket golden crust in a heavenly melt on Marco's Pizza that'll blow your mind. So visit marcos.com to order and stop by Marco's Pizza in Belmead, China Spring, Woodway, and in Robinson. Marco's. Pizza lovers get it.
Petty Clinic Men's Healthcare in Woodway is now proud to offer you men an exceptional weight management body sculpting product called semaglutide, also known as Ozempic or Wegovy. Semaglutide is an FDA-approved weight management medication. Once-a-week injections of this powerful medication offers an average body fat weight loss of 20% within the first year of treatment. In addition to body sculpting, semaglutide also normalizes blood sugars and has the clinical research proof of reducing blood pressure, cholesterol, stroke, and heart attack risk. If you're like most men and you have stubborn fat that will just not respond to typical diets and exercise, then help is finally here. Semaglutide, affordable, highly effective. Google search Petty Clinic Waco and reach out to the Petty Clinic team today for a free consultation with Dr. Petty to see if semaglutide is right for you. Go to pettycliniclowt.com.
This is 365 Sports. Enjoying the show? Hit the like button and subscribe.
Back in Frisco, the linebackers are wrapping up their workouts right behind us. And we'll get a couple of them on as well. We still have a couple of the interviews, 2 or 3, 4 of the interviews we had from earlier today that we have not yet used, and we will. But
it might be tomorrow, might be Friday. We don't know. I mean, we've kind of hit a honey hole here, so.
Or a glory hole.
It's a fishing term. The honey hole.
I know what the fishing term is.
Yeah, I mean we are at the Ford Center, and this is.
I don't believe that you knew that fishing term. I don't.
No, there's a guy that I know that he fishes all the time, and I've heard that.
Yeah, but I mean we are here, and Jerry twice is. Like once a decade, he throws out the glory hole term. So,
yeah, that was fun. That was such a Jerryism.
I mean, there aren't any here as far as I know, but
Yes.
I haven't encountered one yet. But if I did walk into an NFL facility and all of a sudden there was one, I'd be like, well, I know why now.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of college football notes. There's players at Ohio State that have graduated or have extinguished their eligibility, and you got to always wonder, does that mean 5, 7, or 9 years? Not just Ohio State. They think Julian Sayin is without question the next quarterback at Ohio State.
Well, I mean, Aaron Nolan wouldn't have left, right? I mean, Aaron Nolan went to South Carolina to be the backup to Lenore Sellers this year, and then likely Lenore Sellers is gonna make the jump to the league after the season if he continues his rise. Why? Yeah, I mean, clearly, Julian Sayin was the number 1 quarterback in the country. Went to Alabama to play with Nick Saban. That didn't happen, so he went to Ohio State. With all the hype around him, I would say that, yeah, you better be. I mean, he was right up there with. He and Dylan Raiola was the only one that was ranked up with him, and so,
Devin Brown went to Cal. And you mentioned, and how about the name of a quarterback? Is there anything better than Aaron Nolan?
Oh, it's great. I hope it works out well for him at South Carolina. I mean, that's a cool name. I hope Devin Brown wears 33 at Cal, and has a successful run in the ACC, because he did everything Ohio State asked for him. He just wasn't the guy to be the quarterback at Ohio State. Yeah, and I know that sucks, but good luck at Cal. They needed a starter because Mendoza's now in the Big Ten at Indiana.
That's right. So. It's still hard. It's the only conference that it's hard for me to still get used to Stanford, Cal playing in the ACC against
you know how else it's hard for? Stanford and Cal.
Yeah, no, it probably is.
I read an article from an ACC guy the other day that he talked to the coaches at Stanford and Cal that were not football, and they were like, yeah, this isn't great. I don't love it. That was.
Did I send you guys the article about it was the volleyball team at maybe Cal who, when they went to play in the ACC, some conference games, like they just stayed for like a week.
They were in North Carolina. Yeah, you did. They were in North Carolina for 8 days.
But the coach, not once was there a bit of any bitterness or whining. It was just what they did. And there was one night when they had a plane, had to land in Miami, and they were playing in Tallahassee or something. It was a nightmare. But I did not hear one complaint about that. Mick Cronin at UCLA has complained.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, because it's a hard deal. And how many times when we had those who covered the Pac-12 of what it was, or others talk about the travel, and do they really understand it?
The time zone thing is a bear. It really is. And when you have to do it a lot and you go back and forth a lot, especially when you were used to, you know, the longest road trip was Colorado. You know, like you lost an hour if you went to Colorado, to Phoenix, or to Tucson, but you weren't really, you know, you'd go places, but it wasn't, hey, I've got to go to New Jersey, then I've got to go to Nebraska. Now I have to go back to, you know, I've got to go back to the East Coast. I've got to go to Michigan. It's a lot different. I mean, I get it'll wear on you, especially in a 2-game-a-week sport. Yeah, it can wear on you with the time changes and all that. Look, the NFL teams, they play 1 game a week, and many times if you're an East Coast team going to the West Coast, or the West Coast team going to the East, and have to play 2 games in a row out there, you just you fly to the next one and you just stay in that city and practice at a high school.
Yeah.
So, it's not new to say that, like, travel can wear on you, you know, travel wears on you if you're just traveling. You know, you and I was telling Faith about our wild month of March, you know, in 13 or 14, whenever that was, that would have been, that would have been 2012. 2012. In 2012, we left and went to Surprise, Arizona, and
Kansas City,
then Surprise, then Albuquerque. I went to Bowling Green. You went here. Like, all these places we went. Like, we went from all this to Denver and back in 5 weeks. And at the end of that, I was in the middle of it. I was cooked. There were times it just burnt, and I was not playing in these NCAA games or in spring training or in the Big 12 tournament. I was just going to them and flying, and
like I was practicing.
And I was burnt. And so I can imagine if you're doing that and then expending all this physical injury, it's draining.
One of the things we did know is that we knew where we were going when women's basketball was going to go play in Denver eventually. Yeah. They were that good. Because then we went to Des Moines, and then Atlanta. Kentucky knocked out Baylor with that once-in-a-lifetime team, and then we ended up going
with Dallas Mavericks legend Anthony Davis.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Great all-time Mav.
I have to bring this up. I did see a note that he was going to play in a scrimmage, or whatever you call that, with the secondary team against the Mavericks, because they only have like 7 players.
Yeah, they're screwed.
And they can't practice against each other. Well, they can't play 5-on-5.
They're also done with G League elevations. They can't bring anybody, like because they've been so injured. And then of course, like right after they traded Luka, they needed to do one for a couple nights until they got everybody back and physicals checked. So they like burned a couple of elevations on just the 5 days after Luka, and then after that they've run out of them because of all these injuries. So they're pretty much to that until the end of the year. So
I mean, I feel sorry for some of the players and the front office folks who didn't have to say anything. I don't feel sorry for the franchise itself. The franchise is not a person.
Yeah.
You know, like the franchise isn't a person. So that was just a trademark and logo and everything that a bunch of a casino billionaire and her son-in-law and whoever else decided to take over and ruin. Not quite immediately, but pretty close to it. I guess there's a lot of this still have to play out. You know, next year, I'm sure we'll hear the drums beating for, everybody's healthy and this and that, although Kyrie's going to take a while to get healthy. So at his point in his career, I'm not sure what that looks like. But, yeah, it sucks for the people who really cared how much they got jobbed over. But that's what happened.
So they have 7 players.
Yeah.
And they're trying to bring back Anthony Davis. Why?
Because, I mean,
were they trying to make the playoffs?
No, in a normal year, they probably wouldn't, but, like, they're trying to help out those other 7 guys. I mean, that's what like, you know, like, they don't want to get down to 6. And then, and, like, they're in danger of, 7 guys is the minimum you can have to play a game in the NBA. If you don't have 7, you have to forfeit.
So 7's the minimum.
7's the minimum.
But, yeah, because I'm sure the players' agreement or whatever, the union, you're not going to let a team go out there with 5 and they're going to play 40 minutes.
Well, yeah, and so that's why 7's the minimum. That's
and
why
somebody fouls out.
6 isn't the minimum because, again, if 2 people foul out or one guy gets hurt and one guy gets fouled out, you're at 4 and you have to forfeit anyway. So at 6 players, you're forfeiting. So, don't anger the basketball gods.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I don't know if it's karma or not, but boy, the timing of it's really odd if it's not.
No, it is.
So yeah, I don't support them anymore, as I've said often, and so I've seen that, but doesn't make me feel any type of way. I do feel sorry though for all the hardcore fans that have gotten their dreams, dashed and stomped all over, or just just the sentiment towards the franchise. I think it really sucks. The whole situation sucks. I listen to the Ticket in Dallas sometimes, and I feel like sometimes I bring it up too much, which is like once a week, really.
Yeah.
It's like once a week for 5 minutes. But, I mean, their whole promos on the most popular sports station in Dallas are still, all these weeks later, it's like, I cannot believe these morons did that. And just like, it's all
been a month, right?
So negative towards the Mavericks. And they still have to talk about them, and they're still quote-unquote fans, but it's
maybe that's one of the issues.
It's wild. Well, no, not like that. It's just wildly different.
No, I get what you're saying. Now, you love them, but you did.
Yeah.
Here's something to wrap up this segment. We'll come back.
I do feel sorry for the 6 players that are healthy, having to deal with that. And I feel sorry for Anthony Davis. He didn't do anything wrong. He just came in and got hurt. It wasn't his call to make the trade, but you know what? It is what it is.
The odds that they didn't think Anthony Davis was going to miss games, though, was pretty high.
I mean,
that low. Tournament fun facts. Auburn War Eagle chant created in 1892 versus Georgia during the Civil War. A soldier had an eagle. Crowd chanted War Eagle. The eagle then dove into the ground and died.
That I did not know. I've always been confused about who they really want to be because they've been the Plainsmen and they've been the Tigers.
Yeah, I always thought him as the Tiger, but Eric Horton is damn War Eagle.
Yeah. So, again, I guess too late to not be the Tigers. They've been the Tigers for so long. But there's like 3 Tigers in the SEC now with Missouri, LSU, and them. So.
Yeah, and whoever they eventually add to the SEC.
Yeah, there's like a lot of
War Eagle's cool, but like the end of that story sounds like some like
depressing
bad ending that I was never aware of. And then the eagle, they said War Eagle, and then the eagle flew in the ground and died.
That's why it's a tournament fun fact.
Cool.
Creighton sued by the Toronto Blue Jays over their Blue Jay logo.
Yeah, it was pretty close. They've changed it. They've changed it a little bit.
There's only so many ways you can do the Blue Jay, probably without getting close, but I don't know. But, yeah, that makes sense.
Arizona State, they're not in the tournament. Who is that? Who is that right there? Not sure who that is. Primal Scream, where students can scream on campus for 5 minutes during finals week. I don't know who that one is. A&M, not a Colt.
Yeah, okay. I mean, as a
we all have our own opinions.
Here's the thing: as a Roman Catholic who grew up as an A&M fan, like I feel like I know like the kind of behavior, and I'm not saying either one is, but like
listen,
they're
that
not
one is
like
the most fan. That fan base is really large and proud and strong and well financed and all those things, but they are the definition of like, you're not one of us, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, and others say that too, but like they're really like, you're not an
Aggie,
like you're not even allowed to like get within 10 feet. It feels like that sometimes. If you're not in the club with the ring on. I get that vibe from, or have in my life. I've gotten that vibe from A&M more than anybody else. Like other people are territorial, but like they're like it's like a secret club thing,
when I didn't live here, I didn't understand it. Like I thought that like you should like A&M more than you like Texas because Texas is arrogant and all these things, but I kind of get it when it comes to being, especially a T-shirt fan. It's a little easier to be a Texas fan, not just because of the success, but also because of what you're talking about. Other than like
the normalcy
of the normal, like it's just kind of a normal
You're
thing.
just a fan of a team, yeah.
But like when I came here, and then when I would give opinions on like other teams and all that, there was this like the tribalism about A&M or Texas or anything else that I kind of got a different vibe of than living outside the state and just doing it. And then like, talking to my own family members like, oh, this is – no, I get it.
Your dad beat your ass when you said that?
He's probably going to come bend my spoons tonight or something like that, But he thought like – here's the thing. I would say he was like a 90%er. Like, I mean, he loved A&M and with all his heart, and all of that. Like, he was pure Aggie, but like he was in the level below where he could like watch people be stupid and laugh at them, and like he would see people that were like, "Okay, buddy, you graduated from college 45 years ago. It's over. Like, you are not in the Corps Cadets anymore.
Right.
You're not that like it. That's the difference. Is like." You're once an Aggie, always an Aggie, and that's a great thing. I think that's awesome. But like there are, because of the way, especially the old guys, like my dad went through A&M, how the culture was at that all-male military school. There's a little bit more ingrained into it of like this is how it is, and there's just two different eras of the school, and they dive into that so hard.
They are the most. They're not the most passionate.
No,
but they're
the most organized, passionate. Yeah.
And there's some traditions that they just absolutely cherish that people don't get.
Ask anybody else in the country, where did you learn your chants? Like, where did you learn your fight song? And they'll say, well, just at the stadium, or like at orientation today, they like told us and like gave us a sheet and they taught it to us. They go to a friggin' camp for a week and a half and learn all the stuff. So
what's that fish camp?
Fish camp. So like it's different. Like you don't just go and pick it up by rote. You go to a camp and learn it.
Yeah, no, it's a big, huge enrollment. One of the largest schools. Who has more T-shirt fans than anybody in the country?
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Garrett says we need to take a break, by the way. But,
okay.
I don't know. Like,
Texas is in that conversation.
I mean, it's the same. Okay, what are you asking? You're asking a college sports question. Texas, Ohio State, Alabama, Michigan. It's the same.
I will tell you,
schools every time.
Definitively, it's Notre Dame.
I don't see many of them.
But you don't. You're not from my world.
No, I know you're not. I'm not Catholic. I'm Episcopalian, very close.
But I'm telling you, because of that, like that is the most like. I love Notre Dame. Why? Because I'm Catholic. Oh, have you been to Indiana? Never would go there. It's too damn cold. There's no but they love Notre Dame. They love
what
Notre
I'm
Dame.
saying. I get what you're saying. I'm in your world. I don't go to Catholic services, whatever. But I don't see. And maybe it's because I'm in the state of Texas. But we travel a lot.
If you go around, I would tell you that Texas has the most probably in their own state.
Oh, for sure. It's
for
not
sure.
even close. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if you wanted to go coast to coast college football fans, it's Notre Dame.
I don't know how
question.
many T-shirt A&M fans I've ever met in my life. Like they
Probably
all
not
go
many.
to A&M.
Only the ones who grow up in the Bryan College Station area, really.
Yeah.
Did you wear an A&M T-shirt growing up?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
One more thing. Clemson is a cult. All right, we gotta. We got to go to take a break here, and the linebackers, I believe, they're pretty much wrapped up. We're going to maybe have a player or two, plus what we've been doing throughout the day. We're live in Frisco at the Cowboys headquarters, the Star. We're on the air till about 6 tonight. Back again with all of this again tomorrow, and this is 365 Sports.
In our logo and advertising, we say we are people that you can count on. What does that mean? It starts with providing a quality vehicle and quality service at a fair price. But it also means we do what we say we will do, and we treat people fairly with respect. It starts by hiring great people, good local folks who work hard with a caring attitude. Our employees are the real reason we are people that you can count on. Put us to the test and see for yourself that at Richard Carr Motors, we are people you can count on.
Parenting is full of surprises.
You never know what to expect.
So after our son was born, I called my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent to set up a life insurance policy in case something happened to me.
Sawyer is now 2.
And we'll soon have a sister. There's no one else I would trust with protecting my family.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Developed by Startup Waco, a nonprofit organization, GXG is a program designed to support the entrepreneurial development of Baylor University student athletes through NIL activations. The program helps student athletes maximize their platforms and offers a comprehensive support system for them to create and grow new businesses that not only benefit themselves, but also uplift the local economy. Fans who wish to support student athletes can donate to GXG via the GXG NIL Fund, BaylorBears.com/GXG. Contributions to support NIL activations through GXG can be made at BaylorBears.com/GXG. For more information, follow @GXG_GreenXGold on social media and visit the official website www.gxg.startupwaco.com. GXG, empowering student athlete entrepreneurship and uplifting the local economy through NIL activations.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine now has 2 locations to serve you. The original on Lakeshore Drive at North 19th Street and the brand new spot in downtown Waco at 600 Franklin Avenue. If you're looking for the best in craft beers or local Texas bourbons, then the original is the place to be. And for the latest trends and online phenomenons, head downtown to the Franklin location. Either way, you're going to get the same great variety, customer service, and speedy experience. Check out both locations on their Facebook and Instagram pages, Riverbend Liquor and Wine, Lakeshore Drive at North 19th Street, and now downtown on Franklin Avenue.
This is 365 Sports. Check out the 365 Sports family of channels on YouTube.
Back in Frisco, the Star, Cowboys headquarters and Big 12 media days, actually pro days, excuse me. And Mr. ATN,
yes, sir.
BYU offensive lineman, and you're done with the day. Your workouts are done. Kind of explain what the day has been like for you, if you don't mind. And thanks for being a part of the show.
I appreciate y'all. I mean, today had an early start today for our pro day. Started off with our bench. Thought that went pretty good and felt good throughout the whole way. I trained up for it all the way up until, now. So I was up there in Florida training with Bombritos and, just trusting the technique and the work I put in. I was able to display it all here today. So, I felt like I did pretty good.
What did this season on the field mean for you and your teammates, especially as far as taking the next step? Because you guys really did not fairly get a shake at the playoff, which you probably should have. Yeah. But you had this great year where you kind of came together and showed people what you can do. Have you, just in the last year, felt more people talking about you in particular and your teammates as NFL players because of the season you guys just had?
Yeah, I mean, and I think it just started with, our first year in the Big 12. Obviously, the year we had previously, we didn't have a good one. We had a pretty decent, a bad record. So, I mean, I know that year was really a reason why we really came back that year, this year, and had a real statement year. And, a lot of recognition we was getting, throughout the week, not throughout the season, but a lot of people was doubting us every week though that we were the underdogs and losing. I felt like that's another thing we kept on, just stockpiling and just believing in and just winning games and like it was just just going to practice and just trusting what the coaches has is teaching us and stuff like that. So it's just we just stayed together and build that bond and just kept working hard each day because we knew the work we put in off season, that it wasn't going to be easy. We knew what to expect this time around. So I mean like it was a great season for all of us, and all of us got our recognition throughout the season.
You guys made a big statement with the exclamation point there at the end of the season, beating Colorado in the bowl game.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? And then the lead into that, he mentioned the playoff. How much was that a topic of discussion amongst the players of the feeling that maybe you guys should have been in the field?
Yeah. I mean, we we lost to Kansas, obviously. We just came up short, obviously, but that's something that we didn't want. We had a great thing going, and then I feel like that it just kind of I don't know, snowballed. I guess after that we just wasn't the same. But I mean, we still finished off strong. We played Colorado up in Texas, and we did our thing. I don't know if whoever watched me know what we did, but I mean, that's just, the mindset we had and mentality we had. We was going to finish off strong no matter what the record, no matter if we didn't make the playoffs or not.
You had been in the Big 12 at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And then you transferred to BYU, and then they end up in the Big 12.
Yeah.
You didn't know that at the time. I guess maybe you did. You did know that at the time. You were going to still be in the Big 12?
Yeah, I kind of was watching. Yeah, they was in the Big 12. I didn't know that. I think I knew that they was going to be in the Big 12, but I wasn't really thinking about it too much of it though.
What was the reason for transferring?
So this guy, I was at Oklahoma State. His name is Braden Kearsley. He's the offensive line GA, and we had a great relationship. And he got a job at BYU as the offensive line GA as well. And once I hit the portal, me and him connected, and I got a visit out there and met with the coaches, Coach Kalani, and all those offensive coordinator guys. And they loved me and everything about me. And went out there and had a good time, and I had just made the move to commit there and go.
What's the worst thing you can say about Kalani Sitake? Because I don't know if there is such a thing. Every coach loves him. He's on our show all the time. We love he is the easiest guy to talk to and be around, and every coach loves him. Opposing coaches after you beat them run over and hug him, and they're thrilled about it. It's the strangest thing.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't hate. You can't hate, or you can't have nothing that you don't like about Coach Kalani, right? He's really a Christ-like guy. He has a purpose, and he's very smart. Obviously, he knows what he's doing. He's been coaching there for a very long time, and he loves his players. No matter what we're going through, he's going to teach us. He's going to talk to us about anything and let us know how to be better as a person and as a player too. But he's a great guy. He's really energetic. He's just a great coach to be around. And I know he missed me and I missed him. So yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Jake Retzloff, what was it like to block for him, to have him behind you and just kind of leading the way for him throughout the season? A guy that probably wasn't talked about really at all at the beginning of the year, and then by the end, I think a lot of people were paying notice to him.
Yeah, Jake, he's a same guy like me, JUCO cat. So he know what it takes to be an underdog, and I feel like that's what he went into that season being with a chip on his shoulder, and he was able to showcase what he can do this season, and he really had a statement and was able to just flip that switch. And we all protected for him, and he was doing great things in the backfield, and it was an honor to protect for him as well. He's fast, quick, he could throw it. So he's a great quarterback.
Your size and strength are your strength of what you have.
Yes,
is that also at times because you're being 6'8"?
Yeah.
Is that also something you got to be careful about getting over your skis, so to speak, with your balance and your leverage?
Yeah, sometimes I could get out a little whack, I guess, with my size and not focusing on my, technique that I really have to focus on, really just bending and being a little bit lower. But yeah, like you said, my strength is being strong and, just opposing my will against other people.
Do you think about your journey at different time, from New Orleans in high school? Then you said you JUCO cat, you had to go and kind of fight through about being here at this moment and every step along the way.
Yeah, I think about it all the time. For every moment, I think about it. I can't forget where I came from and where it all started. So that's most definitely a testimony of my life and something I'm going to always carry with me throughout, no matter what.
What did you want to come out and accomplish today? What were your goals out here today?
Just showing that I can move and I'm quick and I could be explosive and put up some good numbers for the scouts. That's something I couldn't do. Obviously, I didn't get invited to senior games, so that's something I had to come out here and do and show that I am athletic and I could bend and be explosive.
What do you think of this event? Having all of the different players from all the different schools come here to an NFL facility, and for guys who maybe haven't had the chance like yourself to perform elsewhere, what does this mean today?
It means a lot. There's a lot of guys just come out here, have the opportunity to showcase what they could do, no matter if you didn't get an invite to the combine or not. Just come out here, showcase in front of all the scouts. It's not just 3 scouts. It's every scout is out here today watching and, chasing your journey and just, hope for the best at the end of the day.
When you left Oklahoma State, you mentioned the graduate assistant offensive line analyst. Did your relationship with Mike Gundy, was it not very good when you left either? Did they not really want you back? And what was that like when you played them and beat them?
My relationship with Coach Gundy was, it was kind of weird, but he was a great coach, but just a little distance, I guess, if I could say that from, my part of aspect, looking at it. But yeah, when we played them, you know, when we played them at Oklahoma State that year, you know, they beat us obviously overtime. He came up to me, dapped me off, I guess, tried to be funny. And I gave him a handshake, you know, give him my respect. But then this year, you know, we beat them too last minute, and I didn't see him at all dapping me up. So,
all right.
That felt good.
One Cajun cuisine that you have to pick one. Your desert island Cajun cuisine. What are you doing?
What you mean, like food? Or?
Like food. Like if it's etouffee, is it gumbo? Is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with some crawfish. Give me like 2 pounds of crawfish. I'll tear it up for you.
Okay.
I'll tear it up.
You rip through those pretty quick. I mean,
I know how to do it, so it'll be pretty quick. Some people don't know how to do it, so they'll be over there just doing. You probably eating a whole crawfish.
Can you do the thing where like you just pop it? Like
you pop it. Yeah. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work for such a small piece of.
Exactly, but it's really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. Greg, anything else? Again, Caleb Etienne,
yes, sir.
BYU.
Yes, sir.
What's the expectation now? You got stuff to still do. There's about a month or so till the draft.
Yep. Just keep on working. You know, keep on trusting the process, and you know, don't get comfortable. Be ready, and you know, once April comes, you know, waiting on that call hopefully, and you know, just keep on doing great things from here on out.
Thanks for your time.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck.
Appreciate
Caleb Etienne, BYU.
I actually have one more question. What was it like to play in front of the BYU fans, man? Because that home crowd just is like unlike any other. Yeah,
it's very electric, and you know, they're sober and they're not.
Right.
They're just going to give their best every time. And, I mean, I loved it though. It was crazy. You know, our mascot Cosmo, he does a great time halftime show. And it was fun, though. It was really fun.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate you.
Caleb Etienne, BYU offensive lineman with us in Frisco at Big 12 Pro Days. Man, we've had some great personalities on the show, and now Baylor linebacker Matt Jones joins us from Frisco. Earlier, Garmon Randolph, among others. Tyler Batty, who's fantastic, and Matt Jones. So, Garmon Randolph came in. He was very calm and chill and called you, did he say a psycho?
A psycho. I asked him outside, he's a psycho, right? And he said, absolutely he's a psycho. And the reason I asked him that is you, and this is what I've been impressed with you. You used to be good for a 15 about every other week.
Yeah.
You know, and then how did you learn how to channel it to, you know, because you had that aggression, you had that emotion, but to channel it and go like, okay, I'm going to take it to this point, and then now I know that like I sent the message that I wanted to send.
As in what?
Like, you know, instead of getting those
personal foul,
like getting those penalties,
late
instead
hit.
of getting those late hits and all that, like how do you rechannel it to like the appropriate level of intensity?
I know what you're talking about now. I remember those 15 yards on Breece Hall. I remember TCU taking the helmet off and then went viral on Instagram. So yeah, I know. After those, I know Aranda really kind of got my ear about it. Don't need those personal fouls. You know, those personal fouls won't look good at NFL scouts and teams. So, you know, he really spoke to me, got my ear about it. And then ever since then, I really don't know. I just used to play like bats out of hell and just did not care what happened.
Yeah.
And then once he like pulled up a script of all the penalties per game, and then, you know, my name's on there for 15 and stuff like that. I was like, I can't do that no more. That's hurting the team. That's hurting the team. So it's just, I think what really helped me, the reason I was grabbing helmets and stuff, I was tackling way too high.
Okay.
So I think when Aranda came in and helped out, he got my body low, my hips low, and I didn't do it again no more.
Okay.
You got maturation, right?
Yeah.
Like as a player, as a person, all that stuff. What's life been like since the bowl game? I know not the outcome you guys wanted, but 8-5 season. Just how did you feel about that? And now everything just moving forward, getting ready for a day like today.
Yeah, no, it was life changing. You know, going from 2-4 and then winning out, and then of course losing the bowl game. But shoot, minus the bowl game, just winning out with the team and coming over that adversity and pulling through. Whenever there's a lot of, in the beginning, you didn't see anyone wanting anything to do with any of this team no more, and then just seeing the change. The change was just, I've never seen nothing like that in my whole career of football. So that was phenomenal. That was fun to see. And then since football, it's been good. You know, I've just been in Fort Worth training all day, 2 times a day, and it's been, you know, after 4 o'clock, you don't really do nothing. So I just go home and chill and make me a smoothie and stretch and just try to find something to do.
You mentioned he brought up the personal fouls, not me, but the late hits or the unsportsmanlike. The TCU one, was that the one that was on the sideline? Mm-hmm. I even maybe said something because it was at a critical moment, wasn't it?
It was a critical moment.
There's trouble.
There's trouble. No, it was a critical moment. I know I just overran him helmet came pulling off. And if you go on Instagram, actually, it's kind of going viral. I remember maybe a month ago, I saw it on Instagram. It had maybe 300, 200 views, and then I looked the next day and it had 30,000.
Oh, jeez.
And then everyone at Apex saw it. They were giving me heck about it. Everyone just saw it and just was giving me heck about it.
Yeah. You played fast and furious, like you said.
Sir. That's how I play.
Bat out of hell.
Yes, sir.
So Garmon told us that, like, you guys, especially the veterans, knew you had confidence in the ability of this team and you guys weren't finishing. And then when you guys finally, won that first one of the 6-game winning streak, it was like you didn't have to say, like, see, if we don't beat ourselves, we're going to win these games.
Right.
And then you eliminated it. Did you feel like after that first win, did you feel that shift in the confidence in the locker room?
Yeah, it was just kind of like, shoot, after that first win, we went to our team meeting room on Monday, and it was just like, shoot, everyone had a smile, energy was up, giggling. Coach Aranda came in. Usually when Coach Aranda comes in, he likes energy, so people just start clapping and cheering and being goofy, and we haven't really got that all year. And after that Tech game when we won, I remember that Monday meeting, just everyone having fun, giggling, laughing, and then throughout that whole week, you could see everyone's mindset kind of change, energy change. Everyone just kind of got more involved.
This is kind of an aside, but what was it like having the new facility this year from the meeting room standpoint, the weight room, just like being able to dive into that? I know they were still kind of probably always like putting finishing touches and everything, but what was that like as a player to go out with that facility?
Oh, goodness. I think that changed our season.
Really? Okay.
That old locker room, I love Baylor. Baylor's always been my home, but that old locker room, just bad vibes. It's just been around for a while, kind of stinks. It just dirty all the time, and not even just trying to be. It's just one of those things, bad vibes. Like they say, the Chiefs locker room still very old, stuff like that. It's kind of how it was. It just brought bad vibes. So, once we got that new facility, it was just like kind of like a new home, new environment, new atmosphere. Everything around us was new, and it just kind of brought like a Christmas joy spirit to us. And yeah.
I'm curious about what you said, bad vibes, because that's the same locker room that 12 and 2. I mean,
I don't know. I think they were just used to it. Maybe that's just me because I was in it for so long. You
are an old-ass man.
I'm so tired of that locker room. But no, I don't know. Maybe back then, them being in it, they kind of saw it as like, you just living in the hood or a bad area or something. You're just trying to make it out.
Mm-hmm.
But us, we were just, me especially, I was tired of it. I just wanted to get out.
Yeah. Well, and then you can see it like every day you go and you see the new one being built. So then it makes you probably more impatient than someone who's just driving past it once in a while. Yeah, you're just like, I can see, like, they've got doors now, like there's lights on, like, the plumbers are there. Like, can we just get in that room? Right?
I remember them telling us, it's going to be done in July. June comes around, we're waiting for it. August. We'll get in August. So, we just kept waiting.
Were you blown away by the amenities?
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been in it. I was able to take a tour, and it is,
it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Here's a life lesson for you, Matt. When you own a house or build a house, they're going to give you arbitrary deadlines. They don't make any of them. Ever. Like when you have to have something fixed, they'll be like, oh, yeah, a couple days.
Yeah,
it's never that. It's never that. So
Good
I always add like 2 months.
Okay.
Just started 2 months.
But I will tell you, when they were building it, I wanted to see it so bad that me, Jaden Maronin, Josh White, Brooks Miller, if you wanted to go in there, you had to have a hard hat on. We went and found a hard hat somewhere. We were the only ones in there walking around, just exploring it all, walls down, everything. Yeah, so it was pretty cool to see it.
So today, what was it about for you? What did you want to show? What did you want to, get done, I guess? And then how do you feel like how the day went?
Yeah, it went very well. I felt like I did what I wanted to do. I wanted to get out there and show the scouts that I could move. In the season I was 240, 242, and I know a lot of them saw me as kind of being heavy and sluggish. And I know a lot of them had me expected to come in here, run a 4.7, 4.8, and be kind of slow. But I came in here. My dad texted me and said they had official 4.60, which I'm going to check for sure. But they had me at a 4.59, and I guess they gave me an official 4.60. So just coming in here and showing the scouts that I'm not slow. Even NCAA, oh my gosh, they had me so ridiculously slow. They need to turn me up a little now.
You can't
did you throw the game away? Like you just threw it?
No, I didn't. I can't throw myself away.
How was that to just be in the game?
It's cool.
Before you go out,
especially playing as a little kid. You see RG3 and all these people in it, and then they went away with it for a while, and getting into college, like, dang, I want to do it, and then it was cool to get it my last year of college. Final year, and I got it. So that was a dream come true.
How many national championships did you win?
Oh, my gosh. Cooper Lanes had my Heisman with like 50 sacks on the season. I'm like, that's so unrealistic. But no, it's cool.
You went to Odessa Permian in Odessa,
Yes, sir.
and we know all the history there, and it hasn't been quite the same than when the movies and the books and Buzz Bissinger and all that, but it's got this historical, there's mojo, it's got that steam still. What was it like to play at that school?
A blessing. Just like the movie, you know, growing up as a kid out there, I watched that movie growing up from like 6 years old until the end of high school, just every year before the football season started, I'd watch Friday Night Lights. So growing up as a kid, just seeing that movie, going to the games, going to everything, you know, that was like my dream. Go play for Permian, go play at Ratliff Stadium, go play, do what I wanted to do over there. So it was phenomenal. It was a great blessing. You know, I'm glad I went there. They got me ready for this, especially with my toughness and all that.
Was there ever a burden about playing at Permian and the expectations and the thirst of getting back?
Yeah, Coach Ellison, he's not one to play with. He came from North Shore, so real, you think of like Army and Navy and all the discipline they do, that's Permian. You know, we're out there in straight lines, hands behind the back, you know, just positions, and he's very big on the discipline and the mindset.
Matt Jones of Baylor with us on 365 Sports.
Have you seen Landman yet? Do you watch it?
I finished it off.
You watching a show being made in your hometown?
It's kind of cool.
That's got to be trippy.
It's kinda cool, yeah. Especially with having family stuff who do that as a career.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Matt, how different is the college football that you joined as a freshman from the college football you left 6 years later?
It is so different. It's taken a wild turn, you know, just with NIL, especially the transfer portal, dude. It's just, you get that portal, you get more people in the portal than teams can take. So it's just, it's a crazy game. You know, I wish they had restrictions on a lot of it, but it's just college has changed just from freshman. Like, I think college has made the biggest change from like my freshman year to now. It's just been the same.
Yeah.
COVID, NIL, transfer portal, the EA Sports.
Everything. It's just.
Is it too much to digest, or is it what it should be?
No, I think it's what it should be, especially getting people ready for the league. You know, you got all the endorsements, you got all the business side of it, so it helps get you ready, but shoot, it could break you too. I've seen it break a lot of kids, you know, just blowing the money, getting their heads too big with it, thinking, I got this NIL check, I'm good, I could chill, I'm good for life. Like, no, you're not. You're good for the season.
Yeah, that happens to adults too.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Garmon, I mean, it's true. It does happen in real life. But, you know, Garmon said, like, that had an effect in the locker room at times for you guys. I mean, just, you know, just kind of the different, I guess, mentalities in terms of dealing with those types of things. Some guys maybe feel like they are resting on their laurels a bit, and then, you know, that creates issues. I mean, do you feel like that was something that you also saw as well from your perspective?
Yeah, I definitely saw that. You know, I know a few people, you know, they got big NIL deals, and then, I mean, previous years they were our top players, and then this past year they didn't do nothing. I'm not going to name names, but they didn't do nothing because they got that check and just kind of stayed complacent. But I mean, that's with every school. It ain't just Baylor. Yeah. Every school. I mean, there's always kids like that. They get the money and they're like, oh, I got money. I'm good. I'm just going to chill until I got to figure the next thing out.
So should players get NIL after the fact or based on performance, or because NFL players sign contracts for what they've already done most of the time?
I think it should be based off what they've done before. I know a lot of kids came in and they valued this kid. You know, there was kids coming in, transfer portal, stuff like that, who hadn't played or did anything, and they were getting valued, you know, not by Baylor staff, but just valued more at a NIL value than me, and I've been there 5-6 years. So, yeah, I know a lot of it's a whole wild ball game, and I know they throw money at you to get you there, and then it's a wild ball game.
Yeah.
Anyone ever ask you, did you ever get tampered with?
No.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. You're free and clear, but
you don't have to name a school.
Shoot, don't we all? Don't we all?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't we all? It happens everywhere. It's not just a secret. It happens.
So was it from a third party?
Yeah.
Wasn't from like at school, because
no.
Then you could just copy and paste it.
That's how you get around it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how you get around it.
Yeah.
There you go. Good for you.
Hi, I'm Frank.
Yeah.
I represent so-and-so school.
Yeah.
But is it literally like
unofficially?
Is it like we picture, though? Like, I mean, obviously we're not naming it, but it's like you get a DM one day and then it's like, or
shoot, they'll send people who aren't even on staff. They'll send people who just trying to connect with you and really get their word, to you, and it's like they're not telling you directly. It's someone else. So,
Yeah. So is Baylor set up to continue what we saw in the last half of the year, despite LSU? Is it set up to continue this, or is it an every other year roller coaster?
No, you'll see Baylor in December this year at the AT&T. I believe it. Sawyer, I know he's gonna take control of that offense.
Everybody loves the guy.
That's my dog, dude. I texted him. He texted me 2 days ago to check up on me, and I miss him. He sat right across from me every day, and I miss that dude.
How hurt was he that we weren't even aware of during the – I mean, I think we knew he was dealing with some injuries, but, like, was he more banged up than maybe people realized?
Yeah, y'all don't even know how banged up he was. He's from West Texas. He's a tough guy. And if y'all saw at the beginning of the season how much he was running compared to the end of the season, I mean, I ain't going to go into, like, all full detail and stuff like that, but I think he dang near had, like, a ligament gone in his foot or something. Like, he was a split inch away from it or something, and he kept playing. He played through. And
West Texas Landman just cut that pinky off.
Right off, man. Cut it right off.
As a quarterback, make sure it's not the one you throw it. Yeah. Staubach always had that weird pinky when he got hit.
Yeah.
Matt, love watching you play. I thought it was almost impossible for anyone to follow up how electric that Jalen Petrie and obviously Terrell Bernard with. We had Terrell on a couple of weeks ago, and he's got his new deal and stuff. And Jalen's playing great. That I thought it would be hard to follow that up. Was it hard to follow that up? Because I think by your last couple of years, you played at that kind of instinctive speed.
Yeah, for sure. I learned a lot from Terrell and PD. A lot from them. And, in the beginning of the years, I wasn't really my instincts weren't there. Reactions wasn't there. But, shoot, once Terrell left, it was kind of like I kind of wanted to just replace those shoes, be one who could fill those shoes correctly. And I remember getting that number 2. As soon as I got it, he was the first person I texted and told, and he just congratulated me and told me what to do with it. And ever since then, I kind of wanted to not be him because I like to be myself, and be my own player, but kind of mimic some stuff he does to go be great out there.
Enjoy these last few weeks leading up to the draft, man, and hopefully that call, the moment, and then go kick some ass.
Yes, sir, I will.
Thanks, Matt.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Thank y'all so
Matt
much.
Jones, Baylor linebacker with us from Permian High School at Odessa here at Big 12 Pro Days. Whoa! We just you got a concussion.
Emery, you got to fix this.
Yeah. My God, I think Nicholas pushed it over on you.
Yeah, I think Quadzilla over here.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time. We're not done. We're going to keep it here. Nicholas Martin joins us from Oklahoma State, 365 Sports, to kind of help wrap up our day here on Wednesday. It's been fun. You don't know this. When you at Pleasant Grove High School, you were an all East Texas player. I own Smoky.com, the website.
Oh, okay.
And you, of course, that Pleasant Grove and the run that Coach Gibson's been on, it's been incredible.
Yeah.
So what was today like for you?
Man, it's crazy because I've played in this facility so many times. So it was like a home away from home, and being able to be here again and perform in front of all 32 teams, it was a blessing. It's been a blessing this whole process, so it's been dope.
What did you learn about yourself through the struggles of this year at Oklahoma State? Like, you guys, came in like feeling really good, and then like we talked to Colin earlier, and it just wasn't your year. Yeah. But what did you learn about yourself?
Just approaching adversity the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping God first always, and making sure that I'm learning from it. I got hurt like game 5, so I couldn't lead by example. So I was a vocal leader, and making sure that I'm bringing guys along and keeping guys in positive spirits. So I definitely learned how to be more vocal, be more of a vocal leader.
How did you deal with that? Did you have people that you leaned on, or I mean, obviously you probably have a support system, but I mean, how crucial was that, and just kind of having to deal with bad health, in a big season, your final season? I mean, how'd you cope with that and just deal with that adversity?
Yeah, man, it was definitely my support system that got me through, and staying consistent in my prayer life, making sure that I'm not being distant with God, but putting everything at His feet and trusting Him in this process, in that journey, and just attacking adversity the way it should be, with a group, with a team, with my friends, my family, my girlfriend, like everybody that was there helped me. So.
Nicholas, I've heard from players, and we had Colin Oliver on. Of course, he was hurt real quick the second game. What's it like? And I asked him this, and it kind of, in a way, Do you feel alone, isolated, even though you're maybe still a part of what they're doing? But is that how hard? What is that like?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of isolation because you doing some rehab, doing practice, and while everybody else practicing, and you wishing you could be out there. So it's just trying to keep a positive mindset with it and trying to be better, not worry about things you can't control, and understanding that your time is coming and that everything happens for a reason. So.
You clearly had a couple years on film, obviously, that were really good. Is that what most of it, like you've been talking about, like, with the scouts about, what the previous looked like and here's what you can do, and because you are someone, because of the injury, have like not even a half a season, that could probably surprise a lot of scouts who hadn't seen you if they turn that film on, because you're a sideline to sideline guy.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we watched the 23 season a lot, and we watched the Arkansas game from this year a lot. So I got some good film out there, some stuff that we can watch and things that we can critique, things that they look good and things I need to work on. So yeah, it's definitely dope, just being able to see their perspective, how they see the game, and see my play and all that good stuff. So
Nicholas, this is your career. This is like. Yeah. You knew you were good at Pleasant Grove. You knew you could commit to whoever you wanted to based on offers. And now this is you don't know.
Yeah.
Is that nerve-wracking or is it exciting? How do you describe these next few weeks?
It's exciting, man. To know that you could be anywhere in the country, just by a choice is crazy. But yeah, man, it's different because, like you said, like everything up to this point has been my decision, and at this point it's the least of my decisions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a blessing because nothing is going to be bad, It's all going to work out for better. It's all going to work out for the best, and you go in and get to learn from the vets. You go in and get to grow and learn more about yourself. So it's a crazy experience, definitely, but it's a blessing for sure.
You can wake up in the morning, day of the draft, and you could be moving to Seattle or Buffalo or Los Angeles or Tampa or Miami or and that's got to be like nerve-wracking, but like the possibilities of it, like places you haven't been or haven't seen, like that's gonna be wild.
Yeah, it's so much that you don't know about it, and like where you're going, but it's so much to learn, and that's what I love to do. So I'm looking forward to that.
How much did the expanded Big 12 this year, like getting to go to new places, like maybe get you ready for that? You hadn't been before.
Yeah, it was cool. I really like playing Utah. And just how they play the game. It's very, I respect it a lot. They want to run the ball through the middle of the defense, and your guys got to step up and stop that. So I was looking forward to that game. Unfortunately, I didn't get to travel because I was hurt to like BYU in Colorado. I was looking forward to playing in the atmosphere of BYU. So, but everything happens for a reason, though.
What was your favorite thing about being an Oklahoma State Cowboy?
The culture, man. The guys, the support staff. I mean, I feel like there was no better situation for me. You know what I mean? So it all worked out for the best, and it was just great to be around the guys. I mean, those are some of my best friends, like for life. I met those guys like Colin. I remember we roomed together our freshman year. It was like me, Colin Oliver, Lyric Rawls, and Ty Williams, and we all got real close. And being able to go through this process with CO, I mean, it's super dope, and it's like all full circle.
You mentioned, so you missed some time. Colin missed like most of the year. Yeah. No wonder you guys struggled. I mean, those your stats.
That was part of it. That was a big part of it.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were decimated in some ways.
Yeah, it was. It definitely probably played some factors, but it was a lot of things that went wrong. A lot of things that we struggled with. Bigger than just two players. So, but yeah, man, we definitely wanted to be out there. We definitely could see a little bit of a drop off, but I mean, it is what it is.
What's it like from the other side when the paddles are going and like you can see
paddles, man.
They're just going and like you guys are used to it. It's not doesn't bother you. If you stand on the other side, it's
deafening.
It's deafening. It's like you could get information out of people. Just stop the paddles. I'll tell you what the nuclear codes are. But they what's that like in Boone Pickens Stadium?
It's crazy, especially like in those big games like OU, like Utah. Like it was. Like it's a different. It's a different like atmosphere for real.
What did it mean to Stillwater University to get the last Bedlam?
Man, it meant a lot. Like the town was lit till like 6 a.m. the next morning. I mean, it was crazy. Like just seeing how much it meant to the community and being able to be a part of that. I mean, it's something I'll never forget.
What was today about for you? What was kind of the mindset coming in, and what were, the goals, so to speak, of what you wanted to put out here today?
Yeah, I wanted to get some more agility times. I didn't do those at Combine, so I did those. I wanted to rerun a 40 because I was going for a 4.4. I'm not sure if I got it, but I'm hoping I did. But
did it feel like a 4.4?
I don't know. I ain't ran a 4.4. I don't know what it feel like.
Can you tell us what that would feel like, by the way, in case we've never have been under?
It'll probably feel real good.
I'll tell you, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I've run several.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it was just an opportunity to perform in front of all 32 teams again. So
I always like to go back to what I mentioned about high school football with you. You were on that surge. I know you were a young part of that state championship team, I think, in 17?
Yeah, 17. I was a freshman.
But when Josh Gibson and that staff came in, that was not a school that did well in football.
Yeah.
You had Liberty Iowa was really good. You had, obviously, Texas High has had their history. And the others in that area, and I might be blanking, and I shouldn't because I know that area. What was it like to see that change? It played, won it in 17, lost in 18, but still right now very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah, so in 17 we won, and that was like the thing that catapulted us. That was my older brother's class, and they was 16-0. Crazy team. Then 18, it was my first year on varsity, and that was one of those things where we was picked to not even win our district. You know, it was a team full of young guys, and we went to state, came up short, but we did better than what people thought we was. Then 19, we went and won it all again.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool, and to be able to be a part of that, and just seeing how the culture is like carried over, I mean, it's amazing.
In that area, man, Carthage and Gilmer and all those, my God.
A whole lot of teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beast Texas.
Yeah, that's what they call it for.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy whatever you have in front of you. That the fact that some newness, you could be somewhere you don't even never been there before.
It's crazy,
but you got a chance, and that's the best part, and a chance to start a career, a new chapter in your book, which I think is great. And good luck with you.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thanks for being patient with us to get to the show. Glad
man.
we wrap it up with the best with Nicholas Martin from Oklahoma State. We'll keep it here, but we come back. Paul Catalina at his top 5 live in Frisco at Big 12 Pro Days.
You might ask yourself what functional mushrooms are good for. Whether it's lion's mane, cordyceps, turkey tail, shiitake, reishi, they all serve a purpose.
You have ones for neurological health, ones for sleeping and gut health and all these different areas. They pack a powerful punch.
Functional mushrooms are, of the millions of mushrooms and fungi out there, the ones that we can actually ingest and benefit from as humans.
Like all adaptogens, they kind of adapt to what you need at the time that you need them.
We don't even really know that we're suffering. We just don't quite feel right. That's where these adaptogens come in and really start to close the gap and really start getting us closer to how we want to feel.
Functional mushrooms have definitely re-energized me and helped me face each day with a new vigor for life.
Learn ways that functional mushrooms can help you. Go to getumble.com.
You spent hours selecting your patio sofa. Choosing that grill would have taken weeks. Probably your car needed way more time. For sure, you would have spent months mulling over that pool of yours. Protecting your prized possessions needs no time though. Just visit coversandall.com, create a custom size per your requirements, pick a fabric and personalize your cover. And leave the rest to us. Premium protection for all that you love.
This is Paul Catalina's Top 5 brought to you by Ticket Club. Forget the fees, just big savings. Click the link in the description to find out more.
Welcome into Paul Catalina's Top 5. I have teleported myself back to the studio from Big 12 Pro Days to do this for you. And I put on the same shirt I had on yesterday, just for continuity's sake. I guess that wouldn't be continuity. Either way, don't ask questions, shut your mouth and listen to me. Thank you. With that rant over, let's get into the Big 12 players who could be sneaky good draft picks on offense. Some of these we've seen and talked to hopefully today. Brant Kuithe from Utah, a tight end that had some injuries, but when he had Cam Rising feeding him the ball, he produced. He gets open, he's tough, and he can score touchdowns for you. Following in the footsteps of a great line of Utah tight ends, Brant Kuithe fits that mold. Gonna be a later round pick, probably a third day because of the injuries. Had he been healthy his whole college career, he wouldn't have been back with Utah this year. He'd already be in the NFL. He can help an NFL team, and probably pretty quickly and sneakily. Number 4, Devin Neal at Kansas. Not only does he have burst out of the backfield, great vision, one cut and go, so he fits in a wide zone scheme. He fits in a lot of different schemes. He's also a fantastic receiver out of the backfield. He's a big play machine, and coupled with Highshaw and Jalen Daniels there, was part of a fantastic offense at Kansas. Yes, they did not make a bowl game this year. They fell on hard times early, but Devin Neal's a guy who can plug and play as a third down back pretty quickly in the NFL, if not a guy who can shoulder a lot of the load. I think he proved that when he was at KU. Number 3, Savion Williams, TCU, 6'5", good speed, power, good hands, played in some Wildcats, so he's got some versatility. You can plug him in different places in the offense. You can play him in the slot. You can play him outside. You can put him in the backfield and do things with him for a team like the Cowboys, who needs, maybe to hit on something special at wide receiver. For a team like, say, the Saints, and this is day 2, day 3 stuff here, in that offense that could really use somebody. I think he fits. I also think he fits in creative offenses like the 49ers or the Dolphins, who if they're using picks on wide receivers, it'll be later on. He fits in those kind of offenses really, really well. Number 2, Luke Kandra, a big guard from Cincinnati, an All-American at a time during his career there, and someone who's getting, mid-round grades right now, but someone who performed really well his entire time at Cincy. Big dude, strong, plays well inside, good as a run blocker, good as a pass blocker, and can be developed in the right system to be really good. If you need a guard, Luke Kandra in probably late round 3, early round 4 could be a really, really good one for you. And number 1, Taj Brooks at Texas Tech. I know Texas Tech fans will be like, hey, Paul, why in the hell would Taj Brooks be a sleeper? He rushed for 100 yards in every single game he played this year. He led the Big 12 in rushing. Yeah, I know. I almost had to put Ollie Gordon on this list too because his team wasn't good around him this year, and he maybe didn't have as much hype. But both those guys, Taj Brooks in particular, jumps out to me as guys who have been forgotten a little bit. All this guy did was help his team win almost every game he played in. If Taj Brooks was not there, Texas Tech's offense was different. He's a guy who can make the machine go, and in a deep running back class, he's one of the more slept-on running backs, I believe, in this entire draft. The guy is a yardage machine. He can carry the load for you. He can do all those things. So if you need a running back and you didn't get one of the early ones, Taj Brooks, probably a day 3 pick, because of maybe some stopwatchy type things, but he's got day 1 production or day 2 production, but maybe some day 3 numbers. I like the production over the numbers. I'm going Taj Brooks is one of the best sleepers in this draft out of the Big 12. That's going to do it for the top 5. We wrap it up from Frisco right now.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate everybody that helped sponsor this show on 365 Sports. Also, for those of you in the chat room, thank you as always, and if you are just kind of chilling out watching us but don't participate in the chat room, sometimes I wonder if I should. I joke about that. But great stuff today, Paul. Great stuff, Craig. Thank you very much. Garrett Ross and Emery Winter and Faith Lynch really helping, and she's on her way to go to dinner, and so are we, and we appreciate you. Always. We'll be back again tomorrow live from 3 to 6, but we'll be here tomorrow mid to late morning to interview more players and have them for you today, tomorrow, and Friday. Thanks as well to Matt Enser and Clark Williams of the Big 12 for setting us up here where we are. Alan Samuels, House of Travel. We're here live in Frisco tomorrow. Back at it. Thanks for your time.